Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Monday sound stream where we have a lot of news. We got blinky icons. If you guys missed that last week, we've upgraded. We have blinky icons. So when I say, "Hey, Ryan, how are you doing?" Dark Class 643, he'll like light up when he talks. Watch.
Good. But still, were you expecting a letter?
There you go. And then when Fighter Couch Jerry talks, his little thing will light up.
Oh, wait, I was muted. Hey, how's it going?
And when he's
like,
muted,
"Line!"
it doesn't light up. How's it going? I did want to say, Muteki was talking about how Aliens was an AI upscale. AI upscaling programs are very common in the industry. Right,
we got
we'll
super
get to that
chat.
in one moment. AI upscales are very common in the industry right now, and the reason why is because a AI program upscaling a file or footage up is pretty handy, and then the person can actually like tweak it and modify it, make it happen. So far, to date, AI upscales haven't replaced any human jobs because it requires a human to actually run it and tweak it and check it and rerun it and however all that works. So, as we always say when it comes to AI stuff, if it's not replacing a human job and it's being monitored by a human, then it's fine. It's not AI is not inherently evil or good, but essentially, AI that's bad is like generative AI that replaces like somebody's job. Like when Lego made an ad for Ninjago in a generative AI program, that's bad. But
That
when
didn't remind me.
when like Discotek upscales Digimon into HD using an AI upscaler known as AstroRes, that's good because they did hands-on work.
Or that fan project of upscaling the Roger Corman Fantastic Four.
Exactly, that's a great example. Anarchy Productions on YouTube's also doing Young Indiana Jones right now and taking the VHS rips of the TV versions and getting them up to 2K. That's amazing stuff. So
remember, AI is a tool, not a replacement. Which also does remind me. I remember because I had the ad version of Disney Plus, so I could get the Hulu content. I was watching last week's X-Men episode. They gave me a goddamn meta AI art ad. But it was just one time because when me and my friends were watching 92, we didn't get that ad. I don't know if they removed that ad or it was like specifically like I don't know specifically for like newer stuff. But because I guess because the ads we saw on 92 were mostly like family friendly stuff, and 97 is more aimed for older audiences. So I guess that's why. But still, seeing that's like.
Also, Spindash says subsequently scaling 4:3 anime into 4K 16:9. 60 frames per second is evil. Yep. And that is a human evil decision that was made.
60 frame anime clips are disgusting. I hate those so much.
Psycho O says, I think it's time to leak the damage I've caused and what videos were caused by me. One day that list is going to come out. Alright, so let's give a roll call of everybody in our text chat.
Welcome. Welcome, Master Ben, Muteki T, MJ Klein, Jeremy Carr, SE4 Jason, Falcon Tech, Spin Dash, Camry Metter, Cosmic Reject, Infinity Ward Zone, Paltrox, Astronaut, Toma K, Psycho O's, Fighter Cows in the chat.
I just want to tell them about Fighter Roar,
Yeah, Kyle, Hellfire, and Swift the Crow. Speaking of leaks, you guys saw that? Like, I don't know what happened, but someone I think snuck into the Disney vault and releases a bunch of pitch Bibles.
Oh yeah, the Disney
TV
pilots. Animation Giga leak that happened over the weekend. There's like Bibles for like a ton of shows. I got the Tron Uprising Bible and I read through it and I was like, oh, some of this didn't make it into the show.
It was just insane. It's like watching that going live, seeing all these shows getting pilots and Bibles released, and what's going on here?
There was a comment earlier. MJ Klein mentioned for renewing membership. That is also a thing you can do. If you're gifted a membership through one of our streams, you can also renew your membership and keep going because it helps support the channel, keeps us moving. So yeah. Oh, Alice says, I just made it in time, just went through the terrible process finding Power Rangers Year 1 and 2 for a reasonable price. That was not fun, but I found them. I'm happy to hear you found them, because those two books, despite Amazon in particular having a good stock of the Power Rangers Boom comic deluxe hardcovers, 1 and 2 are always the hardest to get. But once you get those two, like pretty much the rest of them are pretty easy to get. So that's
I'm
pretty
very.
nice.
It's interesting that I'm assuming because Boom isn't like as big as say as IDW, they keep like those in circulation. I'm guessing, or they always sell that, or they always sell out. Is
I think
one
they
of the
sell
two.
out, and I think 1 and 2 are the ones they'll reprint. But they always like to use the Kickstarter money to reprint them because they'll offer them as Kickstarter bonuses, and then they'll appear in shops randomly after the Kickstarter stuff ships. So, Cameron Metter asked about the Knuckles series. I saw half of it because over the weekend I ended up going to IHOP, a baseball game, and watching 3 Planet of the Apes movies back to back. So I didn't.
Which ironic,
went to
IHOP to eat the Sonic.
I did,
menu.
yes. If you guys want to know how my IHOP Sonic experience was, there'll be a YouTube short about it tomorrow. It's going to be like our first field trip YouTube short. It was filmed on location. So that'll be fun. SSJ4 Jason finished Cowboy Bebop a couple hours ago. Absolutely loved it. That is one of my favorite anime of all time. I know it's like such a basic bitch answer, but I don't care. It's so good.
I have to talk about that one. I love that show a lot. My only problem ain't even with the show's quality. It's just that I've seen it so much. So when I hear people do it, I'm like, great, you got to feel how I felt.
Yeah.
Because now I've seen it so many times over and over, I'm just like...
You sort of become numb to it because of how many times you've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it.
I've seen it lots of times. I used to be able to sing real folk blues from the heart.
Yeah, I've seen it 3 times. The music's always on my phone. It's always playing. So
from memory, I used to be able to sing real folk blues. Like that's how much I've seen it. But
I can sing.
So
I'm glad. From heart.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why. I just love mushroom hunting. That one song, and it's all it is just like capitals of cities and countries.
Yep. Did you know that's a song? There's DJ Food, which I think is just one of Yoko Kanno's. It's either herself or
one of her cover names,
or one of her like cover names. And if you look that up, it's basically the same song.
Do you remember that one video you showed me where someone was like, Yoko Kanno plagiarized all of her music, and then it was just like all stuff she did under different names?
It's just, exactly. Look at, she ripped off DJ Food. She is DJ Food.
Exactly. She ripped off DJ Food. Oh wait, she is DJ Food?
It was me, DJ Food, all the time.
Muhammad Faiz Danal mentioned the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comic. We will have that. That is one of our news stories today. I will talk about how it's ending, but it's not like when IDW lost Transformers and G.I. Joe, and like everything's going away. It's a transition phase. So
remember in the play, which we'll also give an update on that also. But remember, in the Hasbro Playmates thing, they did say publishing was still under their guidance or whatever. So not saying that's like confirmation that Boom is keeping the license, but like it's still like
there's direct confirmation Boom is keeping the license, and we'll talk about that with exact quotes as always. The thing we have, there's one comment here. Paul Track said "sound out and about." I might use that name. That's pretty good. Speaking of things I do on this channel, ta-da! Last week's videos, we had the Thundercats Wave 7 and Ghost Shaga. I just did that because I didn't have any other ideas. I was burnt out and tired, and I needed to review them. I'm glad it got 277 views. It'd be nice if it had more, but it also has proven my point that I don't necessarily need to do Thundercats reviews.
To be fair,
and they're old.
They're old, but also, to be fair, the Super 7 is getting bottom of the barrel. With Thundercat character. Not saying the quality of the character, just saying we're getting to the point where they're going obscure characters that no one the general audience
I put
knows.
Mongor in the title. I don't think that was anybody's clicking on the video for Mongor. I mean, he's a rad figure, but like, yeah. But let's get to the exciting thing, the long requested collection tour, the room tour part 1.
Don't watch it. Don't watch it. You hate dust.
I apologize for the dust. I had canned air. The canned air ran out. And I went to go dust and I was like, well, I don't have any other way of dusting these DC figures out, taking them down, and I certainly ain't doing that.
It made me realize how much Mattel made with their DC line.
Yeah.
It is honestly impressive.
And I'm missing 15 figures.
Word?
Like, all that in that video is like, I have the entire line minus like 15 figures, and it's like random variants. I think the biggest missing gaps in my Mattel collection is like the Comic-Con Lobo from 2008, and There's some other variants that I don't have, but I think it's 15. It might be less. I might need to check out things. I also need to see if McFarlane killed the market on that line, and if I could just pick up the rest of the figures. I don't know.
If you had another shelf like a DC shelf, what would you use that shelf for? Would it be Marvel Legends or another line?
Like if I reuse the DC shelves for something else?
Well, yeah. If somehow your room gets like a magical like another space that could fit those same shelves onto,
I would do Marvel, yeah. Yeah, if I could recreate this wall with Marvel, that'd be great because
a whole roll just be X-Men?
A whole row would be just X-Men, yeah. It'd be X-Men down the whole, and then like, you know, it would just move up from there. Benjamin Wiseman says that saw the video. Your collection's pretty amazing. Thank you very much. There was more to it. Hey, Stargos.
How do you navigate your books? Like I see your closet, I go, how do you even get books out of there?
Because I know. So the thing with the bookshelf is that I have books stacked on top of books, but I have them all in a way that I just like. For example, the DC shelf has like this thick gap that I just lined with books. So if I want to get anything that's under it, I don't know if you noticed it in the video, but there's like a black label hardcover under each stack of books in that middle section. So if I just grab the bottom of if I grab the black label hardcover, I pull it, and then I just grab this, I can just pull it as one stack, and then I can get into it that way. The other thing is I'm not reading a lot of DC right now, so it's all just kind of sitting there.
And, it's like I imagine if you want to grab one, you got to take down multiple figures to get to the one book you want to check out.
Exactly. Like with Marvel, I pointed out that I had a section of like what I need to read, and so that doesn't have any books sitting on top of it. It's just like, you know, just pull them off the shelf kind of thing. But the stuff that I'm like, oh, I've read that, I'm not going to touch that for a while. I have books like jammed in just because I'm out of space.
If you were to get another like room in your house, will you make that another toy room or just a library?
I might just make like just straight up library, like, you know, put it all into a because I have way too many books, and I wish I could display I wish I could have all my books up at once because that'd be pretty great. Like I need like an indie comic shelf that's like not Marvel, not DC, just put all my Hellboys, all my Power Rangers, all my Spawn and all that just in one shelf. That'd be great.
Yeah, because like in my room, I've been getting so much trade comics and trade comics and manga that I'm just running out of space for them. I had no more space for my comics and manga now to place them.
Yeah. I did see the X-Men 97 trailer, but I just don't want to talk about it because it's spoilery. But as I know Cameron was mentioning, part 2 Wednesday, there's going to be a part 2 and a part 3, and the reason why is because I finished filming part 2, and I was like, I haven't done the Sentai section yet, so I was like, let me do part 2, will be everything there, and then part 3 is going to be just like the Sentai Power Rangers display, because that's like a big display. So expect part 2 Wednesday and part 3 Friday. I got a busy week with like appointments and stuff and things to go do. So like I'm just like, yep, it's collection tour week. You're just gonna get the rest of the collection tour. And based on how part 1 did, you know, that can justify doing that. If part 1 had flopped, I probably would have spaced it out more. But now I'm just like, yeah, let's just get this done, and then and that way I can start working on stuff for next week. So that'll be good stuff. Your house is definitely like a toy shrine. It feels like it at times. But speaking of toys and speaking of X-Men 97, I hope you all saw this short last week because I'm so proud of it. The X-Men 97 show versus toys.
It's surprisingly doing very well. I'm honestly really surprised about that.
Yeah, it's not even a review. It's just if you haven't seen it,
people love stuff like that. I mean, I know I love stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I felt like I made it very loopable too. Like you could just watch it in a loop.
Which is what makes shorts perfect.
Yeah, I think that's why it's got like twice the views that Lalandra and Brood Wolverine have. But no, this was me going a little different. I've had this idea in my head since like episode 3 of the show. I just needed Nightcrawler to have stuff to do. But yeah, I show all 12 X-Men 97 figures in comparison to the show. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It was I would say probably the most work I put into a short. But I'm also so incredibly proud of it. So it's definitely worth checking out if you haven't already, because I am very proud of that that short in particular. I've watched it myself like 8 or 9 times since finishing it. I just really love how I really love how it turned out. So yeah, and there'll be another short this week. There'll be the Sonic one for IHOP Tuesday, and then Thursday will be card unboxing. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much it for the intro stuff. I think it's ready to get on the news. You guys ready for news?
Yep. Yeah, no, there's a lot here.
Muteki says, comment question, you can only save one, Nightcrawler or Jean Grey. I'd save Nightcrawler, because Jean Grey has that plus 10 regen ability, and she always rolls for initiative, so...
Speaking of Nightcrawler, I'm actually really surprised how much they got, like, fully away with the Catholic stuff in 92 X-Men. Because...
their whole episode that literally is, like,
Yep.
a whole breakdown of, like, religion, and, you know,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
that episode was great, but like, man, like I'm shocked they just went full hog on that. No TV set. Like
they were able to just talk as openly as they do. Yeah,
I get
the reason they have in Eric Lewald's book, he says he has absolutely no way. He has no idea how that all passed. He thought they would told him to cut it down at some point.
Yeah, because the whole one of the big TV center is no religion allowed, pretty much, and like that's why Evolution and Wolverine X never really talk about Kurt's religiousness in those two shows. So it was really shocking how full on they went with it in 92.
My only guess is because Fox was producing the show and Fox was airing the show, they had the final say, right?
Yeah, that's what I figured, because they own the network. They didn't have they make up their own censors.
Oh, everybody's say, oh, that was a choice in Ultimate Alliance 1. Now I have to tell people I didn't play Ultimate Alliance 1.
You played 3?
I played 3 and I played 2. I didn't finish 2, but I played a little of 2, and I played all the way through 3. Because 3's art style was so good that I could finish it, even though the game was frustrating.
Can we, Magic Genie Curse, get a new MVC game with that roster?
If only. I will say, though, that Ultimate Alliance 1 showed up on the Xbox store. Not buyable, but, it's there. So, Ultimate Alliance may be coming back. That'd be cool. Here's the thing. Disney Marvel, if you're somehow listening, if you want to make some money, cut some deals with some game people, get Ultimate Alliances back out, X-Men Legacy back out. Legacy's the good one, right?
Legends is the...
X-Men Legends, Ultimate Alliance. Put a Marvel vs. Capcom collection that's just the arcade 1-up lineup. Do that, you'll make so much money, and it's barely any development money needs to go into it.
X-Men's hot,
and you can have it out
right
this
now.
year.
Again, X-Men's hot, really hot right now. To the point where people are now going back to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, going, "Where's the X-Men?"
So if they were smart, if they're taking free fan advice here, I would say re-release those. Go sign whatever deal you need. Re-release those games. Everybody will make a ton of money. It'd be great. So yeah. Anyways, I like everybody talking about Nightcrawler's. Nightcrawler's religion is a great part of the character, and much like Daredevil, part of the best stories that work with it is not only the religiousness of it, but also struggling with how the religion is structured and handled.
Speaking of X-Men and I don't want to say controversies, but all this stuff, but do you think people are kind of overblowing the whole Jean and Bobby thing with the whole him being gay thing?
I remember that. Yeah,
I feel like I think a lot of people are really taking it out of context.
I mean, the thing is I think Iceman being gay doesn't bother me. It makes a ton of sense character wise. When you look at his past history and stuff. The problem with how they did it was that they made it as a shock gotcha moment with Teen Jean pulling it out of his head, as opposed to letting the character discover himself.
Yeah,
I think that was
a dumb way to handle it. Yeah, it was a dumb way to handle it.
Yeah, I think the actual the storyline is fine. I think it's just the way that they revealed the reveal was done poorly, because it wasn't Bobby going. So it wasn't Bobby realizing it or having an experience that made him realize it. It was Jean looking into his head and going, "Hey, you're gay now," and he's
exactly. What? That was that's a weird way to do it.
Jean. Oh yeah, she also did it in front of everybody too. That's right. Yeah, it was. I think it was one of the sloppier.
Which run was
reveals,
that? Which run was that? Was that during Bendis' run
That
or
was Bendis.
no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My door popped open.
Uh-oh.
Because there's
happened.
windows open and
Yeah.
there's wind blowing, so the door just went creak. Yeah, no, that's Smith the Crow summed it up. Yeah, Jean literally just said, "Hey, you're actually." She doesn't even say. She doesn't even say that he's gay. She's just like, "Hey, you know, you're you know."
I think it's like the line is, "Bobby, you're gay," or something like that.
I don't even think she says it. She like kind of shrugs at him, like, "Hey, you know," and then he's like, "No, I don't. What are you talking about?" I think it's always a thing is that like that's one of the poor examples of an LGBTQ character having a coming out scene in comics. There's a lot of great examples too, and then there's also really weird ones like what they did with Tim Drake.
Like, I don't hate the Tim Drake one, but like I feel like I definitely could handle better.
I think the problem with Tim Drake one is that like he breaks up with his girlfriend, doesn't explain anything, then starts dating the most flat, zero-dimensional character.
That's my problem.
And then they don't even do anything with it. Like the thing that like
you could do it really well if you think about it. But
yeah,
the
problem is that it
feels
happened
like
off.
they don't think of it.
Yeah, they don't think about it, and it happened off page, right?
No plan. Yeah, where's the planning?
Like I read some issues of Tim and his boyfriend, and they are sweet, but I feel like there's not enough there. I don't see the chemistry between him and his partner.
The problem I have too is that like if you're gonna do the story, like commit to the story. Whereas I feel like Tim. And the thing is, Tim had all this chemistry with Connor during the like Young Justice and Teen Titans days. That's like where like it was like one of the early like internet comic book ships.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, yeah, and let's pair Tim with like I don't because like I don't think they were gonna make have Connor revealed to be bi either as like in addition to, but it was like why pair Tim with a character that has zero sauce, zero personality, and zero things going on, and having zero chemistry.
I mean, it's not like Connor has any love interest right now. Like, as I read his new series, there's no new love interest for him.
He's dating Miss Martian now.
Wait, is he?
In an Action Comics backup story.
Oh,
where he's also dyed part of his hair red. He looks awful. I don't know what they're doing with that poor guy.
I was questioning because I was reading the Brainiac House of Brainiac, and I was wondering what's up with his new look. When I was reading that book.
He's having a teenage rebellion streak at the age of 24.
It's like they're like with Connor. It feels like they're unsure if they want which direction they want to take it. They don't want. They're not sure to go back to the '90s look or like the 2000s Young Justice look with him.
They have no idea what they want to do with him.
Like I really like his solo book last year, but like I wish they kept that. But
no, none of that solo book mattered anymore because like it all got thrown out the window and they're just doing completely different things with them. Yeah. Logic Blaster says, "Do I think the Star Trek and Planet of the Apes are dead at Mego?" I mean, every time I think they're dead, they come back. So I wouldn't say they're gone forever, but they.
Hey, Mego's like a ghost that keeps coming back out of nowhere.
Yeah. And speaking of John Kent, I mean, I think John Kent was handled better because they actually had a storyline.
No, I think John Kent I really like Tom Taylor's original Superboy run.
The one thing I'll say is that they DC. They'll put it in a headline, but they won't put it in the book. Is they never have John talk about being bi. They only have him like he comes out to his mom, and his mom's like, I already know I love you and accept you and everything. But they never actually establish that he's bi in canon. It's just he's dating a guy. But there was never him dating any girls because they skipped his teenage years by aging him up with the Legion. So it's weird because it's like they're DC's almost got it. They've almost got it. They just haven't committed to it like 100%. But I think that the more that time has progressed, the more it's worked out a lot better. And maybe a few more DC Pride one-shots where some characters only make one appearance a year will eventually get us to a better place.
I feel like it's one of the things where I feel like DC is not bad with their LGBT representative, but like I feel like they definitely could be better.
Yeah. I think both DC and Marvel are making big strides, but they need to tighten up the direction in the character storytelling. Because I think with DC, I gotta say is like every time they do the Pride Month issues each year, DC's feels like legitimate short story collections of LGBTQ characters, whereas like Marvel's feel a little bit more like, look at our LGBTQ characters. And especially because there's characters in the Marvel ones that only show up for the Marvel Pride issues and they don't show up anywhere else. And DC's got Circuit Breaker, who's also just showing up only in like one shots every once in a while. And it's like, well, if you're gonna have the character, establish the character, get readers interested in the character, then use the character, because that's kind of the thing I'm like sometimes frustrated by. Is I'm like, oh, Circuit Breaker seems cool, I want to know more about Circuit Breaker, and then there's just nothing. And so that's something they need to also work on. But I do like how DC is doing like the young adult graphic novels to kind of establish some of their LGBTQ characters more. Like Galaxy, Prettiest Star, and Bad Dream, A Dreamer Story are both great and give you like so much more depth to Galaxy and Dreamer than what the main books have. And so, yeah, there's that. Also, Marvel's Pride issue this year is just the Mystique and Destiny wedding. And I don't know if there's other things in the back of that, but they're just like, it's Mystique and Destiny's wedding. I'm like, cool, but like, what about the other characters that you're supposed to highlight? So always keep making steps forward. It's not going to be perfect the first time around. So that's it. We're moving on to the news. I know we got on a tangent, but that's what we do around here. This is my show, and we can tangent if we want to, right?
Exactly. Well.
So speaking of comic books, Free Comic Book Day 2024 is this Saturday, May 4th, 2024. And you can go, here's some of the comics. There's like an Energon Universe one-shot. There's some new Hellboy coming up. Some previews, some lead-in issues to upcoming comics. Some samplers.
I'm looking forward to the TMNT. I'm looking for the TMNT ones because they finally had a Night Watcher from TMNT finally.
Yeah, Night Watcher's coming up. And this like I think it's going to be the reveal of who Night Watcher is.
Yeah, I think that's what they said it was going to be.
So, anyways, the thing is that Free Comic Book Day, for those unaware, is an event where you go out to comic shops and you can get comics for free. Each store does things a little bit differently. For my store, for example, they let you pick three free comics per person, kind of thing. And a lot of stores are running sales because it's a big, foot traffic day.
It's a family event. That's usually what Free Comic Book Day is.
It's a big family event, so you see there's like a mix of comics. So you got like Young Jedi Adventures here, but then you have your more like adult-aimed Star Wars books here. So there's a lot of great stuff to do. So if you have a comic shop in your area, I recommend go checking it out. Take a look around their shop while you're there. Don't just pick up the free stuff.
It's one. You could just get the free stuff, but if you want to be a good person,
exactly.
Yeah,
I always feel I feel so bad if I just grab stuff without buying something.
Yeah.
And a lot of stores. Yeah, a lot of stores do sales on Free Comic Book Day, so you can probably get a good deal.
And it's not even just comics; it could be toys, or because a lot of comic shops are more than just comics.
I mean, I know the one near me has a lot of. Funny enough, they have a lot of model kits.
Yeah, a lot of comic stores have a lot of model kits.
Yeah. Let's see. MJ Klein asked about Disney Comics and Dynamite. Looks like there is a Maleficent one, which looks to be like a preview of the Maleficent comic. So it's like a sampler book. There's a Doctor Who comic that's actually a prequel to the new 15th Doctor comic.
Speaking of Dots and the 12th Doctor, I
finished the 12th Doctor. I'll be quick. 12th Doctor was great. I was sad to see Capaldi go because I didn't like his first season as much as I did the other two.
Season 12 is such good.
It was great. I really enjoyed it. Getting started on the 13th Doctor. We started 13. We've watched 3 of the episodes so far. So it's interesting.
How are you feeling?
It's interesting. It's the thing is like something I know because we have like a new showrunner starting on 13th, and it's something's a little off, but I think they're gonna kind of work its way out. Or it won't. I don't know. We'll see. I enjoyed the Rosa Parks episode though. Thought that one was pretty good. I like Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor for sure. So, anyways, let's see. Someone asked about Massivverse. Massivverse doesn't have a Free Comic Book Day issue, but anyways, there's a Gatchaman comic. Apparently, look at that.
Ooh,
yeah,
Gatchaman.
It's exclusive original material, so it's like a little prequel. So it's the issue 0 for the Gatchaman comic.
Who's doing that one?
Gatchaman.
Mad Cave. Never heard of Mad Cave.
Me neither. Huh.
It's Colin Bunn, Tommy Lee Edwards, Steve Orlando writing, and then various artists. So, Free Comic Day is always a good time. I'm looking forward to going to my shop. I might actually tour around some of the other shops in my city this year. I haven't done that.
What sucks is the one near me is also the only one I know of in this whole town.
Yeah, so it's like that's the one.
I know.
You got, like,
I
one
know
choice.
too.
I just happen to be lucky to be in the neighborhood, the same neighborhood.
I know too. The one I always go every week that's near my work when I go from work to home. I always visit there every Wednesday. And then another one that's more far away from me. That's not too far, but still, those are the two main ones I usually go to.
And if you guys don't have a comic shop, a lot of these, a lot of the ones that have like unique stuff, like the Marvel ones or the DC ones, they'll usually pop up on the digital services.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like maybe the toy stores might have some.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And yeah, they might. Because the thing is, like, the shops order these, they have to pay for them, but they get a lot of traffic in. So, like I always say, like go give it a shot. Pick up a comic or two in addition to your free ones, and that kind of thing. Yeah, Cameron Ritter says, "What's your first comic book you ever read?" The first one I remember reading was the Batman Beyond tie-in comic to the show. Because I'm old.
I think for me, it was one of those. What was it called? The Marvel Epic Adventure, like the one for young kids.
Oh yeah,
young kids.
The Marvel Adventures, yeah.
Yeah, that's their own canon. I remember reading their version of the Black Suit arc. Actually, that was like one of my first comic experiences there.
Jerry, do you remember your first comic?
Yes, I talked about it before. I couldn't remember the name. I finally remember the name.
What was it?
It was a 90s AF comic made in the 90s called Shadow Riders.
That sounds bad.
I remember the cover where it was like Shadow Riders and all new force against Cable. And I remember reading that like, wait a minute, why are they promoting against Cable? I thought he was.
I just hear that title. I just want to sing it like the Shadow Riders.
I'm gonna show it. You guys in the Discord real quick. I'm gonna post like the one picture they have of a random page. You're gonna be like, "Yep, that's 90s."
Yep. Some of the answers here. Cosmic Rejects first was Spider Girl.
It's just stream chat.
Mr. Tanuki started with Archie Sonic in the middle of a time travel arc, and T Cosmic Latte said Archie Sonic run Mecha Sonic.
That's
Jamie's
nice.
World was the Doctor Who comic in the Doctor Who magazine.
Yeah, look at the chat. That is 90s, right?
That is beautiful. It's funny. I had my 90s comics suck era, but like I've lately just been like, you know what, 90s comics are cool, and sometimes I'm like annoying about it. Like, look at all their pouches, but like no. Like, there's some really good stuff in the 90s, and I think for like a while I was like, the 90s suck, but like actually now looking at it,
that's why I like stuff like Savage Dragon. That's what I like about Savage Dragon. It's so 90s, Savage Dragon.
Yeah, let's see, Master Bim's original Scott Lang Ant-Man. I found a lot of good stuff in the 90s, like Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, for example, or like the 2099 stuff. Not the Clone Saga Muteki. I said good 90s comics. Anyways, moving on. Before I go on a tangent about what just to go on my tangents, I started reading Generation X, which seems so 90s, but it's so good. I did not realize Scott Lobdell was actually a good writer back in the 90s. I just didn't like his stuff in the 2000s.
I'm so tempted to watch the live action pilot after we're done with our 92 X-Men watch.
I haven't seen that live action pilot, but I probably should because I'm reading the comics, and now I can get super offended by it. That'd be great. Infinity War Torn says first comic was an Avengers run where they fought the Squadron Supreme. Oh yes, that's right. Hellfire. That reminded me. The Energon Universe Free Comic Book Day one-shot will be available for sale the following week into comic shops. Like, there'll be a purchasable version, and there's going to be variant covers.
Would it be the same contents, or is just like
just
so it's like just in case you missed it kind of thing?
Yeah, in case you missed it, or you can order it online easier that way, because these don't have cover prices, so you shouldn't be able to sell them. Let's see. Oh, David White at Arcade and Toy Channel. How are you doing? Because he asked, how are we doing? I'm doing great. You guys doing great?
Good. I'm doing good. It's getting hot now.
It is. I went out.
Getting that smart weather.
Yep, healthy smart weather.
Cosmic Reject says the Gen X pilot is unwatchable. I watched a review of it, and that was hard to get through. Ooh, LPH mentioned Hulk 2099. I want to read Hulk 2099. I'm enjoying that Marvel's putting the 2099 stuff in omnibuses because I will totally just buy all of them and read
What
them
was
all that
that?
You read the Punisher one?
I haven't. I've only read one issue of Punisher 2099. It's the crossover between all the books.
I feel about
in that one, he's if I remember right, he has a machine where he doesn't just he pulls you apart molecule by molecule.
Yes, he does. He doesn't just shoot you; he tears you to pieces.
How do you feel about Doom 2099?
The new 2099 stuff?
No, Doom. Just Doom 2099.
Doom 2099 is amazing. It's so Doom 2099 is one of the best books. I'm looking forward to reading Ghost Rider 2099 because he basically is like a computer cyberware net runner kind of thing, and it's like so cool. I love it. Friend told Nistriga says friend said Generation X is similar to the New Mutants film, but on a '90s TV budget. Yeah, that sounds about right. Cosmic Rejects, the original Spider-Man 2099 run was something special. It really was. It was so good. That is like one of the best comics I've ever read, like hands down. And I don't just say that because I love the character, but I mean that's like one of the best comic runs. All right.
Have you seen? Yeah, let's get back to back at top.
Yeah, let's get back to the news. Entertainment news wise, Ultraman Arc is getting a buddy. This is UP, the AI robot. They're adorable. Look at them. They're so round.
I love it. Yeah, it's two robots.
It's two robots?
Yeah, because the head is separate from the body.
The head separates. Oh, I see the two sets of eyes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, it's two robots. Is it
U
and P?
Yeah, UP.
UP. Oh, that's so cute. There's the voice actor is Yuya Hirose. Also, just shout out to Subaraya for just having articles in English, so I don't have to translate any of this.
Right,
I know, right?
Subaraya is kicking butt a lot, man.
Mm-hmm. AMJ Marcus says my first comics were some kind of 90s Johnny Blaze issue as well as 90s Namor. That was crazy times when Blaze was just rolling around with a Hellfire shotgun. Anyways, next up, on the March 19th episode of Bakuage Sentai Boon Boonjer, Go On Red is making a appearance. And they didn't show that the actor is back, but I'm pretty sure he is, because that guy just loves Sentai and is doing Sentai. So I think that he is going to be back for the Sentai. So, look at that. It's official now.
Did we do an interview with him? I forget.
I think we were going to interview him. I don't know if that happened. Anyways, at C2E2, the Chicago something, I don't remember the rest of the name, was a convention this past weekend. The major news I saw was the Massivverse, the universe started by Radiant Black, had a bunch of news, including the official cover reveal for Radiant Black Massive Edition Book 1. This will be a deluxe hardcover with issues 1 through 12 of the Radiant Black series. So if you haven't jumped in yet, now might be the time, because you get a nice premium deluxe hardcover format. This is due out in October for, I think, $50, which is not bad at all. And it will be like a large size, big old hardcover. And I'm looking forward to it because I love this series. As obvious, I talk about it a lot.
This is definitely going to be probably definitely pick up for me because I've been meaning against the Massivverse for a long time now. And it's looks like a really good entry point.
Yeah.
Here with this.
Definitely a good entry point if you haven't read it yet. Adding to this, there was some other news. There will be bonus material in the back, including concepts of the original designs and kind of their ideas they had before finalizing the series, back when it was called Vanguard and such. There's a lot of good bonus features back here, which will be pretty cool to check out. And then we got some more, just some more characters for some of the upcoming books, like Inferno Girl. They did put out 2 new covers for the Supermassive 2024, which was announced a couple days ago. It's going to be a big crossover between the 4 main heroes of the Massivverse. I like how this one invokes that Fantastic Four poster art for the movie. They're working quick over there at the Black Market Narrative offices. Here's a more traditional cover with the 4 heroes as well. And it's Tony S. Daniel doing a cover, which is great. Love that. There was announcements from Mondo, they're doing 1/6 scale Thundercats, they're doing 6.5-inch real Ghostbusters. I figured we'd talk about them when we see concrete photos. so we don't have to play the
Did you say
speculation game.
real Ghostbusters?
Real
Yeah,
Ghostbusters,
the cartoon.
yeah, the cartoon.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they look. I think we'll talk about them more when we have the concrete info. Kyle Higgins wrote this comic 10 years ago called COWL, which stands for Chicago Organized Workers League. It was a kind of his first sort of foray into creator-owned comics, and it's celebrating 10 years next month.
Yeah.
So they're going to be reprinting the COWL Sessions, which was an album that was produced for the comic, onto vinyl. And on top of that, in 2025, will be the COWL Compendium, containing the entire series. So what's cool is that the trade paperbacks for COWL collected issues 1 through 10. Issue 11 had never been collected before. I think it wasn't finished before, so now it's going to be included in this. Now, the reason why this is early 2025 is it'll also include the upcoming 3-issue COWL 1964 series that will be starting in August. So the Compendium edition will have all 11 issues of COWL plus the 3 issues of COWL 1964.
I forget. Is COWL
cool.
part of Massivverse or no?
So COWL wasn't technically part of the Massivverse, but COWL exists in the Massivverse as a fictional story. There was a lot of talk in the early parts of Radiant Black when Nathan and Marshall reunite. Marshall's going on about like how the COWL movie's got a 4K remaster and they need to go see the limited screening of it. So it's like COWL exists not in the Massivverse per se, even though they put the tag on it, but it is like a fictional story in the Massivverse, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty neat. I'm looking forward to that. I've never read COWL, even though I have the.
I feel like I'm obligated to.
Yeah, I feel like I got to read it now, right?
Especially being Chicago and everything. I'm like, well, all right. Exactly. I guess I should.
You should also read No One because No One takes place in Chicago.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I think Kyle's from Chicago. It's like all of this stuff takes place in Chicago. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's from Chicago. Now, if you've been trying to get into Radiant Black and comics aren't your format, which would be nutty because I love comics, but we're all different. There is a audiobook for the first 6 issues of Radiant Black coming out later this year, with Ryder Strong voicing Nathan Burnett and Will Friedle voicing Marshall Ward. So this will be the first 6 issues in audiobook form, and Will Friedle had previously voiced Marshall in the Radiant Black versus Battle short that was included via QR code in the back of issue 18.
God, that was such a tease, but I don't think they can afford doing an animated series like Invincible. But man, imagine.
But what's nice to see is with Radiant Black getting hardcovers and audiobooks and all this other stuff, it's showing that it's building up. And I know people have mentioned toys, and I want toys too, and they want to make toys, but this has to get. This is, I think, and I say this with full disclosure, I'm on their influencer list, but I'm saying this legitimately from the heart. I think Massivverse and Radiant Black have the potential to get to the level of Invincible and Spawn, of notoriety of non-Big 2 comics that have a big fandom. It's just going to take them a while to get there. Invincible was really popular, but the show wasn't made until they finished writing 144 issues of the comic. So Radiant Black's on issue 29. It's still early days. And a lot of the creator-owned stuff is not going to get the big push that it would if it was owned by a major corporation. But the benefit is it's owned by the creators. So I'm glad to see that things are continuing to build and build and build. And there's more things going on in the Massivverse. And I have a great feeling that they have the potential to take these ideas and soar with them. And it's very exciting to see this, to be kind of in the grassroots of it. I wasn't there for Invincible's beginning. I wasn't there for Spawn's beginning. I was there for Radiant Black's beginning. So it's exciting to see all of this picking up. And that's pretty much the recap of the Massivverse news.
I just speak of comic book characters, because I've been wondering, as it looks, I finally caught up on Void Rivals finally. Who does Robert Kirkman own the characters and lore, or does Hasbro own the lore? That's what I was thinking about.
Hasbro owns the characters and lore, even though Robert Kirkman created them. Hasbro owns the trademarks. Hasbro owns the characters. They clarified that in one of the letters pages for Void Rivals.
Okay, I was curious what that was because I know we're apparently getting toys of the characters. I'm looking for because now finally caught up. I love.
Yeah,
Void
Hasbro
Rivals.
did file a toy license for Void Rivals.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I was curious of reading through it. So I'm not surprised.
So yeah, I mean it's exciting to see things build up, and I'm loving that comic books are in a good place. You'll hear from people like, "Oh, comics aren't really good right now." You have to break out of your Supermans, your Batmans, your Spider-Mans, your Avengers. Get past that, and even at Marvel and DC, you can find a lot of great stuff in the lesser known characters. And then when you get outside of Marvel and DC, there's so many amazing things. You just have to look for them. They're not easily.
It's like everybody posts that stupid manga versus comic meme. Everybody's like, you haven't read any indie books.
You haven't read anything outside Marvel, DC, and you also overthink how much reading every single comic of a character matters. Like, as someone that read every Guardians of the Galaxy comic from 2008 to present day, I can tell you can just jump in at any writer's run and it's fine. You don't need to read all of it. So yeah, Cosmic Rejects, good point. Literature period is up right now. There's a lot of good novels coming out. Star Trek novels are popping right now. Star Wars novels are popping too. Infinity Wartron says, very biased being here from the Chicagoland area. Higgins is repping hard and glad he broke the news at C2E2. Yeah, it's probably why he did this at C2E2 instead of at another convention.
Soundout, tell the chat what I told you about C2E2, and I'm like, oh boy.
Oh yeah, Kaus forgot C2E2 was happening, and he used to live in Chicago.
Like, oh boy.
If I could actually do a indie book shout out, actually, because I got this recently, I recommend. Speaking of something like Tokusatsu related with Radiant Black, I recommend. It's a young adult graphic novel, but I recommend the book Taka. It is written by Ryan Jampol, who did a lot of artwork for the Archie Mega Man comics and IEW Sonic comics. It is a Kamen Rider Tokusatsu inspired manga, like Toriyama inspired indie book published by IEW, which is rare to see. I really rare to see. I know IEW does some indie stuff, but it's like like even like the back in the novel literally says a new young adult graphic novel for fans of the Kamen Rider series.
Yeah,
so
that's wild to see that in an official description on a book on Penguin Random House's website here. Pull it up here just so you guys can see what it is.
I read I haven't finished it, but it's very, if you really like that kind of Toriyama humor, it has a lot of that kind of humor in that book. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
Cool. That's our comic recommendation of the week. All right, let's get to the Blu-ray news.
Just remember, support your indie creators, people.
But as always with everything, support what you like, because I sometimes see people boost up certain creators because they're not working at Marvel or DC when those creators do things that they shouldn't be boosted for. So it's always support your indies of the things you like and the people you like making them. I feel like I have to add asterisks to everything these days in statements. It's just to make sure we get the nuance out. That's the internet, though. When you don't mention something, then for some reason the internet will say, well, what about? And that's always not fun. So, all right. Appreciate all the support for things like this. Let's get to Blu-rays. Speaking of weird, wacky Toku stuff, Zebraman Ultimate 2-pack is coming out in June from Media Blasters. They're taking their 2 Zebraman films, putting them into one set. And yeah, if you want to check this out, go for it. They're 2 of the most bat crazy movies I've seen from Takashi Miike. So I really do recommend both of these. They are weird movies. And it's like $30 MSRP, so this thing will be like really affordable. So, and Media Blasters did a good job with these releases as well. So that is coming out in June. Appreciate the support in the chat, guys. It warms my heart. All right, speaking of Media Blasters, we have details for the Kamen Rider movies. So for context,
so we heard this announcement back when, 2021?
2021, it was announced that Media Blasters got the rights to Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, not related to the Anno film, Kamen Rider Zeto, Kamen Rider J, Kamen Rider the First, Kamen Rider the Next. Sorry, Kamen Rider the First and Kamen Rider the Next.
Also,
all props to John Cirabella, but he does not know how to pronounce Kamen Rider.
Also, Kamen Rider World was also confirmed.
And also Kamen Rider World has now been confirmed. But back then, they got announced that they were doing 5 movies, and they give us more details later. If you guys want to know, like, your industry talk, highly recommend watching this video. Go on the Media Blasters website. In fact, I will... how do I do this here?
I think you can just link it to chat.
Let me just link it to the chat. Just let me give him a
It
moment
gotta
here,
be.
so I don't want to play his video on stream and YouTube
Get
copyright
copyright.
claim either
Yeah.
of us. I have more subscribers than him, so I don't want to. Anyways, let's see if that goes through. There we go.
Remember, John Toei goes after even people they said that they could have.
Yep, and also I don't want YouTube like copyright claiming his video off of my stream.
Right.
Technically,
Yeah,
have a bigger
exactly.
audience than him, so I don't want that to happen either. So the details, you can go watch the video. He goes into all the details of like we announced the deal before we got the licensing cost, and he talks about how they just paid for the license like a week ago. It's coming together. One of the big reasons it's taking so long is because Media Blasters had Crunchyroll bought Right Stuff. Right Stuff no longer can sell 18 plus content. Media Blasters' bread and butter that keeps them afloat is hentai. Because in the words of John himself, John
Yep.
Cerebella, hentai always sells, and hentai always sells, and it's always cheap to license. So they always will have like a nice baseline of cash with that. Toei's made it hard on them. They had, after they got their own store set up to sell their hentai, they had a flood, a fire, and then cleanup from the flood and the fire and rebuilding their warehouse. Now they've got all that back up and running. Now they can start working on things. They also had to work on a thing they already licensed from Toei first because Toei had to make them work on their stuff in order, essentially, of like what they licensed.
Toei seems like a strict company to that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So the big thing is that they're going to space it out. There's going to be a box set of Shin, Zeto, and J with Kamen Rider World coming out this summer. And they did say that there will be single releases later down the line of Shin, Zeto, and J, but they won't include Kamen Rider World. So if you want all of it, you got to get the box set. And Kamen Rider World is a short crossover between Zeto and J. So
repeat it. So the Kamen Rider World will come in the box set,
it'll
or
come in the box
release?
set. It will not come in the singles. It may come in the singles, but apparently Kamen Rider World, the singles are still a maybe. That's correct, Spin Dash. The singles are a maybe, and World wouldn't get a single. It's too short. And from what it sounds like, Toei may have been charging more for World than other things. And then the first and the next will be coming later in the fall-winter time frame. So those will be coming later. They have to split them up, but they're going to be 2 sets, basically, which is going to be good, because I think that's the smart way to do it. So that's pretty much the update. They're coming. It's happening. If you want more details, I think World's like 10, 15 minutes. It's not very long. And want more details, go check that video. It's at the chat. It's on the Media Blasters YouTube. You'll get a lot of details about how Toei does licensing, more so than what even Discotek will tell you. I think John was just like, I'm just going to share now, because that's just kind of how it is. Yes, Shadow Moon is in Kamen Rider World.
Yeah, because remember, Media Blasters is not even Discotek level. They're very underground.
Mm-hmm.
They're like it's honestly impressive. They're still afloat to this day, and that's not a dig. That's not a dig at them.
They used to be much bigger, but they invested too much into Voltron. It did not get the money back, and they had to downsize the company.
But it's impressive.
They're less than 20 employees.
Yeah, but even after a loss like that, they're still afloat, which is great to see. Honestly.
Cameron Metter says favorite Kamen Rider movie. It's Kamen Rider Zeto. That is my favorite Kamen Rider movie. That's why I'm very excited for this.
Was that the one Keita directed?
Yes. Keita directed Zeto and J. I think he did World. I think he directed World as well.
Wazo has that beautiful practical kaijin. It was so good.
And that's the thing, is that between this and the Zayram movies and the Hokkaido film, like, Media Blasters is doing the Keita Amamiya library. I want them
honestly,
to have
I trust Timagaro the most, honestly.
Cass, you got any thoughts on these movies?
Well, I'm glad to see them finally come out.
And price-wise, based on Media Blasters pricing, they should be about $15 a movie, so they're not going to be that expensive at all. So I hope everybody buys these.
That's not bad at all. Yeah. Exactly. Vote with your wallet.
And if they're $20 a piece, that's fine too. It sounded like Toei was charging a lot. They may have to raise the price a little bit. I think whatever it is, it'll be reasonable, because that's how Media Blasters rolls, So, the Hokkaido movie is peak. The Spin Dash mentioned the Hokkaido movie. Hokkaido movie is amazing.
I love it.
The Zayram films are 2 of my favorite movies ever made.
Hokkaido's awesome.
Yeah, Hokkaido has like the most hardcore line of like. if you are what is considered justice, then I shall be vengeance or something. I
I'll be
can't remember
evil.
now.
So if I remember
I'll
right.
be the great. If you're considered good, I'll be evil. Basically, is what the line is.
And he burns the flower, which is pretty cool.
Also, a bunch of those movies are on. I think I don't know if the Zayram movies are. I know Hokkaido's on Tubi, but yeah. Tekoki Mikazuki would be a great thing for Media Blasters to bring over. So, yeah, good stuff. All right, Warner Archive June releases. We're getting a few movies and another TV show release. Got Acts of Violence, which is Van Heflin and Robert Ryan. But I think more to the point of this stream and the chat here, the Flash Complete series from 1990, all 22 episodes, 4K restorations from the original camera negatives, which is more work than I thought this show was ever going to have put on it. But that's coming out June 18th. That is the John Wesley Ship series. It was funny because there was someone on YouTube doing 4K upscales of the Flash, and then they got copyright notices, and they all got pulled down. And then this got announced like 2 days later. So, yeah. But at least it's coming from the original camera negatives. Should look really good. Other movies include The Man I Love, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and The Shining Hour, as well as the complete series of The Alaskans. We're just going to move on because I don't think the chat's interested in those, but shout out if you like any of them, guys.
Yeah.
All right, Columbo. We've been waiting to see when Columbo's second volume will be coming from Kino Lorber Classics. This is the Columbo The Return from 1989-2003. These are all the specials that Peter Falk did as Columbo pretty much up until his death. And this was everything else we didn't get in the first volume. That was the 1970s. And it looks like it's, packaging design-wise, Kino Lorber keeps it very basic with the black spines. Looks good. New packaging art, new illustration there. And putting them together will look great. And we'll have the entire series between the two. This is coming out July 16th. More details later. Columbo thoughts, or are we're moving on?
I mean, I'm glad to see Columbo, because I always...
I love that cover.
Especially the meme potential. Finally have it on DVD.
Mr. Tanuki, yes, this is the Heisei Millennium Columbo, yes. Smith the Crow says the return sounds like a threat. I mean, if you're a criminal, it definitely is a threat.
I also like the cover.
Exactly.
It's like menacing, but yet wholesome energy to it.
With the perfect Columbo energy.
Menacing and wholesome.
Columbo. Yeah.
I'm glad because you get more clean screenshots to meme with. But if wearing dual discs with.
Exactly.
What was that? What was it called? That shit. That was not cops. What was that parody series that was a prototype of the Naked Gun movies?
It was called Naked Gun, actually.
No, there was a thing before Naked Gun that was pretty much a prototype for it. I wanted to see that get a 4K remaster and blanking that series.
There was a Naked Gun series.
Yeah, there's probably the TV series, right?
Yeah.
No,
before there was the movie, there was a series.
Yeah, maybe I forget. I'm blanking
the man.
Or are you thinking of Get Smart or something like that?
Maybe. I remember
someone needs to make us a graphic that's just tangent alert, and we just have it like blinking in the corner when we go to do it.
It's like a siren.
Police Squad.
Yeah, there you go.
Police Squad.
Police Squad. There it is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see a 4K retro.
That was Leslie Nielsen. That was everything before Naked Gun. It was only 6 episodes. It was released on Blu-ray in 2020.
And then the Naked Gun.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Hey, there it is.
But this series has a great moments. I want to see remastered in 4K.
Yep. All right. I have enjoyed the half of the Knuckles series I've watched. I haven't had time to watch the other half yet, but it's getting a Blu-ray and a Steelbook even. So the Knuckles Blu-ray Steelbook is available on Amazon and Walmart. No release date yet, but glad to see that Paramount's just like, yep, we're making all the money we can out of
Blu-ray.
Paramount's
buy a Knuckles plush so you can have Knuckles and Knuckles.
Oh,
yes.
I'm still hoping for that combo. I'm still hoping for that combo pack next year of Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
I think they might do it. They might. There is no 4K listed, but look, I like the show, but it's not like a visual masterpiece. I think we'll be fine with Blu-ray.
I mean, for me, a TV show has the same quality as the movies, which is impressive.
It's pretty impressive. Like, there's some funky shots, but like other than that, it's like I'm like, this looks like the movies. So, yeah. All right. Any other thoughts, Cass?
Oh,
Cool.
like I said, do the Knuckles and Knuckles.
Yep. Spinda says TV shows getting 4K is rare. It is. It's
Or like the Marvel shit, the Disney stuff
the
gets
Disney
it
stuff
because
gets
it's Disney.
4Ks. With Star Trek, the only 4K show we get is Strange New Worlds. All the others are Blu-ray. So the show does have a lot of weight, but it's in the same way that like the first movie has a lot of James Marsden.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the same. People are like, "Oh, Knuckles is barely in it." I'm like, then you could also say that Sonic is barely in the first movie.
Yeah,
It's about the same. You have to balance these. The thing is, they did a show that was just the animal characters. It would be so expensive; they'd never make their money back.
it would just be animated short.
Yeah,
like
and if you guys want a
short
show with all the characters that's just the anime characters and no humans, go watch Sonic
that's
Prime.
half the. Yeah, or the other.
Or the rest of the franchise.
Besides X.
Yeah. Kyle says Sonic 1 does have a 4K. Yeah, that's also a movie that was theatrically released. So, Sonic 2 had one too. But the nice part is we're getting a steelbook, so I'll have all my 3 steelbooks together. So, and the 4th whenever Sonic 3 comes out. All right, Scream Factory and Shout Factory's July releases include Dolph Lundgren's Dark Angel, not related to the other Dark Angel like TV series. A Red Sonja Collector's Edition. Who's That Girl?
I know people are gonna have.
Starring Madonna. Weird Al's UHF in 4K.
That's not the Weird Al series, right?
It's not the Weird Al series. It's the movie he did, where he did like a bunch of parodies of things while he's on a radio station. Or a local TV station, not a radio station. So, UHF, storytelling, which is something. Phantoms is getting a 4K, and Natural Born Killers is getting a 4K. Or no, just a Blu-ray, sorry. Just a Blu-ray.
Which Phantoms is that? Is that with Affleck?
Phantoms, Ben Affleck, yep.
Yeah, I can make the joke. He was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
And then the Evangelion 3.1 plus 1.11 over 326 days, 4K.
Why these things does not belong?
Yeah, Ava's the one anime thing because it's going through Shout instead of G. Well, it's still G Kids. It's just with the Shout solicits, but there it is.
By the way, Spin Dash was talking about UA. Yep, I remember those old TVs. I had one for a long time. I used it all the way up until like the original Xbox.
Yeah, but yeah, no, G Kids does release their stuff through Shout. Case in point, there will be a Boy and the Heron 4K Blu-ray and 4K Steelbook, as well as a poster if you order it. And this is coming out July 9th, and is the first ever UHD release for a Studio Ghibli film. And it's also, I don't think it's got a confirmed streaming date yet, so...
No, it's already on Max.
Is it on Max?
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm looking for. Last I checked.
Yeah, no, Max has the exclusive streaming rights, which, aka, boo.
I
really want to watch this.
Max has the rights to it, but they don't have it on there yet.
Yeah, I think they had the exclusive streaming rights.
Yeah, they have the streaming rights to it, but you can't actually watch it there yet.
Specifically in America, because I think it's like everywhere else in the world is Netflix and such like that.
Yep. So, that's our Blu-ray news. That was exciting.
I'm looking forward to the point. I heard nothing but praise for that movie.
So I want to buy Phantoms just so I could have Ben Affleck sign it and tell him he was the bomb.
There you go. I want to buy like Apocalypse
don't get the joke.
Now.
It's from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh yeah.
They just kept yelling that at Affleck. You was a bomb in Phantoms, yo.
Yes, that'd be great. I want to meet Ben Affleck and have him sign Apocalypse Now and just be like, this is just for the commentary. The commentary where he's like, this movie doesn't make any sense. It's my favorite one. All right. Let's see. Let's talk Power Rangers. I know this is not like a happy subject for people, but guess what? We called it. Smith Sagro says Santa was required to get Red Sonja. Yeah, my dad probably wants it. He buys all the Red Sonja figures. Okay. So, we talked last week about Playmates Toys getting a Power Rangers license for kids product and how I attributed it to the Power Rangers toys aren't selling well. And several people rightfully said, well, how do you know they didn't sell well? So, we got a quote that says they didn't sell well. In the earnings call...
a lot of business talk coming up.
Business talk for like the next 10 minutes, but it's all Power Rangers, so stay attention, right? Okay, so...
Remember to like to shoot people at the Power Rangers bit.
Yep. If you liked Power Rangers, hit the like button. All right, so on the Hasbro earnings call, CEO Chris Cox, reminder, hey, YouTube censor board, that's how it's spelled, okay? I am not playing. All right, anyways, He commented and said that the Power Rangers line did not meet their profit margin thresholds and chose to outsource it. According to him, Power Rangers is probably the last brand that we will outsource. People took that quote weird to, because it's understandable because written text without the emphasis in the context.
Right.
He's not saying that, oh, that's the last brand we would outsource. Like, no, it's the last brand they're gonna outsource. Like, you're not gonna see G.I. Joe and Transformers and such.
It is a weird phrasing. I think it's the problem there. I don't blame people because it sounds weird. Like, I think, like if they said, I think Power would be the only license, like we the last license we ever will license from our properties.
Yeah.
Like the way they phrase it's so weird.
It is, and it's because they recently outsourced a couple other brands too. So it's like, Power Rangers gonna be the last of this outsourcing thing. But in the Q&A section, hey guys, we got actual numbers. Okay, so question was asked. You talked about the deal for Power Rangers. Does the early success that you're seeing with some of these licensing decisions change how you're thinking about the needs to own versus license some of these CP brands going forward? And Chris Cox answered, no, I think it's validating that we made the right choice. 2 years ago, we outlined what our selection criteria would be, basically. So this has been in the works for a while. They've been looking to see what to outsource for a while. He said, can we generate $50 million in revenue at a 10% operating procedure? And can we grow to $100 million or more revenue at 15% operating procedure on a line? And so basically we've chosen the lines to outsource that we don't think meet those thresholds. But another company with maybe a different cost structure or a different set of expertise could still make a really nice business even if it was sub 50 million. So I think we're basically done without licensing. We certainly will be driving cross-licensing and leveraging our brands for category expansion and new product opportunities like we're doing with Lego, like we're doing with Mattel, and like we're doing with location-based entertainment. But I think Power Rangers is probably the last brand we will outsource. So that's the context for the quote. It's basically saying that, like, of the outsourcing they've done, Power Rangers is the last. So this is basically saying that Power Rangers couldn't meet a $50 million profit threshold when Hasbro bought Power Rangers for $522 million. Like, boy, I thought the Disney Fox deal was bad, but this is rough.
So, is this in general, like the whole one? Like, is this? I always wonder because when they mentioned that, is this in general or in the past 2 years? Because
this is in general. So it's good. So he talks in general, but what I think this is, because I know Falcon Sec brings up this thing too. We like it's been brought up, like, oh, of course you can't generate revenue if you don't make any toys. But what this sounds like to me, and the way that I'm reading this, going with my business knowledge, is that the words said here is that they said 2 years ago, we outlined what our criteria would basically be. So what I think is that 2 years ago would be 2022, right?
That's what, Dino Fury Season 2?
That would be Dino Fury Season 2 and Cosmic Fury, right? Which we know that they did not do Cosmic Fury toys. We heard from people like Geek with Chris that there was supposedly going to show figures at Comic-Con last year and then didn't.
And they got
pulled them last minute. What I think happened is that they put this threshold of what they released doesn't get to this amount. Okay? And what I think happened is that the money that came in from Dino Fury and then into Dino Fury Season 2 and then that first half of 2023, I think they put this barrier there, and then they looked at Power Rangers and were like, oh, it's not going to make that. Like, they looked at it like before they were about to get the Cosmic Fury stuff put together. They were like, it's not going to make it. Why should we bother trying? Right? Because say internally in the Power Rangers team, they're like, oh, that isn't making the profit threshold. They're gonna put this on the outsource list. Why should we make a whole line? Right? So,
that goes into they barely made anything is the problem.
Right.
Also, sadly.
But they did put some stuff out at the beginning of 2023, and then they just stopped basically. And so I think the stuff we got was the stuff that just slipped through. But what I think happened was that Power Rangers was already hit with you don't get to this amount of money, and we're not going to continue making you in-house. And what I think happened was that Power Rangers looked at it, and they were like, we need 50 million, and they're probably at like 30. right? And so it's like they were not even going to make it. So I think that's why they just stopped trying, basically. And then they're just going to outsource it. I also think this Playmates deal was not signed when we heard about it. I think this was signed sometime last year, which would also explain why everything went on freeze. I think when that Playmates deal happened, I think that's when Lightning Collection froze. I think that's when, it all just kind of stopped.
I think the problem. I think the problem here is I think it's the exposition Hasbro was too high because
definitely.
Because the problem is, the movie bombed horribly and caused like the public reception of Power Rangers in general to be lowered. So like I feel like I think Hasbro was expecting Power Rangers to G.I. Joe or Transformers members, which it really shouldn't because if I was a businessman and saw how bad the 2017 movie did, you should lower your expectations because again, that movie took a giant hit to the franchise. It lost so much money.
I will also say Saban overvalued the brand.
Yeah.
And Hasbro paid way too much for it. They paid way too much for Power Rangers. They should not have paid over $500 million for Power Rangers.
How much did Saban
Saban bought it back from Disney for $40 million.
Yeah, and that's like fraction the cost that Hasbro had to pay to get the brand.
And when I say buy Power Rangers, that does include Beetleborgs and VR Troopers. They just seem to come with it. They're like packaged together.
Yeah.
But Hasbro's not doing anything with VR Troopers and Beetleborgs. At least Saban put DVDs out. So the thing is that we can speculate on how sales figures go. Hasbro obviously expected it to do a lot more than it did. That clearly didn't meet their expectations, and so they licensed it out to another company.
I think people need to realize that Tokusatsu will soon forever be the niche of the niches. Essentially, like the Sentai and Power Rangers, like Godzilla. Unless you're Godzilla and slowly Ultraman, Kamen Rider and Sentai / Power Ranger always gotta be that niche, the niche franchise. Like they're never. I think I know people really hate hearing it, but I really do think Kamen Rider would never be up to the same level as Ninja Turtles, for example.
And we've heard from people that know people inside Bandai that Bandai has also acknowledged that Kamen Rider is not working out here. See you later, Smith Pro. Yeah.
As such.
Also, isn't just so what are they exactly doing?
For Power Rangers?
Yeah.
They gave Playmates Toys a partnership license to produce kids-aimed toys for Power Rangers. Basically saying Hasbro basically said, we sucked at making kids Power Rangers toys. Let's see if Playmates can do it themselves.
So I want to make sure I got it right because what I was going to say, it does go. Okay.
Yeah.
Sub-licensing is pretty dang common.
I see Kyle. Did Hasbro need to pay much more because of them getting the toy rights from Bandai America? No, I don't think that's because that was Saban taking the toy license away from Bandai and just giving them to Hasbro. I don't think Hasbro really got any money.
Yeah, because at the time that it happened, for Beast Morphers, Bandai's contract was up at the end of Super Ninja Steel, and Saban chose not to renew with Bandai, and they instead licensed it to Hasbro. So Hasbro already had it when they paid that $522 million for the whole franchise.
Yeah, no, they paid that much for the overall brand, not just for toys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the toy part was already in Hasbro's deal. They already had the toy rights before they bought the franchise. The thing is that I think Saban probably pulled the biggest money scheme when he sold it to them for $522 million.
Saban pulled the biggest. He's the true winner.
Yeah, the only one that won in this deal was Saban. I think he swindled this company. Yeah, so Spin Dash says, basically, this is a good summary. Basically, Playmates is taking the reins for primary kid-oriented lineup, but Hasbro can still do random sub-licenses for their own collector's edition content. It's very similar to the McFarlane Spin Master deal, where McFarlane makes the collector's toys for DC and Spin Master makes the kids' toys. Hasbro can make collector's stuff.
I've been saying that since last week, and no one will listen to me.
Power Rangers fandom, y'all need to listen more to the people that follow things outside of the Power Rangers bubble in the industry. That is a big problem. Ryan's been explaining stuff, I've been explaining stuff, Cal's been explaining stuff, and yet there's a chunk of the Power Rangers fandom that will not listen to anybody that has experience outside of Power Rangers for how this works. Shout's not involved in this deal with Playmates. Hasbro still would license to them if they want to do it. And yeah, Infinite, Hasbro can still make Lightning if they want. It's just a question of, do they want to?
And simply, again, I think you need to remind yourself, this is just for toys, not for the brand, people.
Nothing about the brand.
Toys alone.
So, let's talk about this other thing where I have the Power Rangers fandom not listening. Comic books. Okay, so, shout out to Looper for sucking ass. They reported this news first, and they left a paragraph out of their article. They left a paragraph of the press release out, and it put everyone into a panic that the Boom Studios Power Rangers comics were ending forever. This is not the end of Boom Studios Power Rangers. It is the end of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Boom Studios comic. So, this here is the press release from Boom themselves.
Please note, for people who don't want to be spoiled on the what's going on in the current arc of Mighty Morphin Boom, you might want to. I think
let me give you the news, and then I will give you my speculation. I'll give you guys a spoiler warning. Okay?
Yeah, just letting you guys.
It's going to be very minor. It's going to be very minor, but I have to bring something up from last week's issue because I think it all ties in. Okay, Mr. Shuki says, but how will I get panic clicks if I don't deceive people? Looper Writers 2024. That's what happened. And unfortunately, when the press release came out on Boom's website, and several people tried to share the full detail, a chunk of the fandom would not listen, and just kept repeating this, it's over, it's dead, it's over. It is still on. So here's the thing. First of all, here's an example. When IDW lost Transformers and G.I. Joe, it was announced a year prior. It was announced in January. They lost it in December 2023. It was 2022. They announced like 12 months in advance, and they said, all our comics are coming to an end soon. We did not get that announcement from Boom, and we would get that announcement if that was the case. However, the announcement we got is that the Darkest Hour finale one-shot, pictured here in its multiple covers, is going to be the last issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So issue 122 of Power Rangers will be the last numbered issue, and the Darkest Hour one-shot finale will be the final issue of the series, bringing us to a total of 127 issues with annuals of the main book.
And that's impressive for a licensed book.
It's insanely impressive for a licensed book. It has been going on for 8 years. Now, the thing is, people took this as Boom's done with Power Rangers comics. Absolutely not the case. First of all, their license is still on board. Hasbro just mentioned publishing as a thing they still do with Power Rangers in their press release for the Playmates deal. Number 2, they just relaunched Ninja Turtles over at IDW. IDW just wrapped up 150 issues of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and they're starting issue 1 of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in July. It is very common for runs to end, but the licenses to keep going. Number 3, if you go to the bottom of this press release, and you look at this section about Darkest Hour, and you look right above it, you can read, ahead of its milestone issue, fans can pick up the final issue of the main series, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 122, a week earlier on July 24th, 2024. Additionally, this is the key part that was left out of Looper's article. Additionally, fans can look forward to many exciting Power Rangers announcements from Boom Studios in the coming months, including exciting plans for San Diego Comic-Con. They would not be writing this if it was only going to be the hardcover collections to finish out this run. So we are at this point of transition between one era to another. Okay? Now, what is going to be next? We don't know because they have not solicited that far out yet. So, we are still doing Power Rangers comics. There's going to be announcements. They'll probably announce the next thing at San Diego Comic-Con. Okay? Spin Dash says, this is a good thing. Spin Dash says, I don't know how much stock in this. My local comic shop owner says licensed titles typically have a 5-10 year license. So for year 8, we presume we have 2 more years at minimum. Exactly, yeah. They usually do them in 5-year intervals. So we're up to 10 at least. But it could still keep going. Ninja Turtles is on 13, 14 years now. So the thing is that, and Falcon's Tech brings another good point. Did forget this. This comes down to people lacking basic critical thinking skills. Boom ended the Power Rangers main comic line twice already. There's no reason to assume this is any different. Exactly. At the end of Mighty Morphin issue 5, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was over and became Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. They kept the numbering, brought it back as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 100, and now they're ending it again with 122. The way that they're saying the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers saga says to me that the title is not going to come back as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And now I want to say slight spoiler warning. So if you don't want to hear minor details, just mute the stream. And when you see me switch tabs, that'll be the end of the spoiler talk.
Yeah. So you don't want to spoil what happened in last week's issue of Darkest Hour. Mute now, and then if you see the screen and tagline change, that means spoilers is over.
Exactly. So here's the thing: in issue 119, they talk about, in order to continue to fight Dark Spectre, they need to go to a planet that's rich in Zeo crystals. So it's entirely possible that when the comics come back, it'll be a Power Rangers Zeo comic. Or they could go crazier and just go to a Power Rangers comic. But I do think we are breaking away from Mighty Morphin, which is a thing people have wanted for years, but they're not ready to show their hand yet. They want to get the finale out, they want to get the storyline out, and then go, okay, this is what we're doing next. Because I bet the Darkest Hour finale will kind of give us a direction in the future. Or it'll be a complete concrete end, and the next thing will come up, and we'll find out. I personally think that the Zeo option is most likely, because branding is branding, and that's how it goes. But I would like to see maybe they have Zeo powers, but they don't use the Zeo suits. It's not called Power Rangers Zeo, and it's just called Power Rangers. That could be something cool. They just did something really cool in 119 that I won't talk about because I don't want to spoil that, but the mention of Zeo crystals has been popping up more and more and more. I do think that they will be doing something with Zeo. And here's the thing, and Fire Fury mentioned the season 3 thing. They do not adapt the show. They have not adapted the show since Necessary Evil. They have moved on. They're on a completely different storyline, which is why I kind of hope it's not just straight up, let's just do Zeo as a comic, but more so like, here's Zeo powers, and maybe actually fulfill the promise that the Zeo powers had back in the day, where the original Zeo powers, they were supposed to get stronger over time, that they were a limitless power than
before.
Right, stronger than before. They were supposed to constantly upgrade, which is why it made no sense they ever had to switch to turbo. So maybe they could do that, and maybe like every couple years they'll refresh the suits and upgrade them in something. Yeah, Spin Dash brings a good point. They did a Machine Empire storyline recently. There is a lot of things leading us to maybe a reimagination of Zeo, more so than a straight-up Zeo. But I also wouldn't mind a straight-up Zeo, because it would get the comics to move forward. Darkest Hour has been fantastic. It's been a great crossover, and it kind of has been feeling like they're building up to a big finale, so this makes a lot of sense. But the Power Rangers fandom has been exhausting because people didn't read the full press release, and Looper did not help that whatsoever. All right, spoiler talk over. Let's get to this nice little message from Melissa Flores, who was writing Darkest Hour. And she mentions, so spoiler section's over. Welcome back. I switched tabs.
By the way, before you go, as somebody who's covered comics since 2012, boy, is this just a normal, this is a nothing burger.
Exactly.
So, I know, right?
All the time.
It has been happening all the time.
I've been covering comics for like,
I need just because the whole Playmates thing and just a brand right now, everybody just like panic mode everywhere.
I think Spin Dash said, let's see, there's an expected panic given we haven't had stability in years of the brand. Any news with a negative feeling connotation immediately sends people into doom. That's kind of where we're at. It's a lot of things that, like, people got to read, they got to read the words and understand it. But I think also because it is just normal comic stuff to comic readers, and the Power Rangers fandom, I don't mean this in a bad way, is not full of readers, it has led to a lot of confusion, which is why I wanted to step on here with 3 people who talk comics and know comics to talk about the comics and why this is just kind of a normal thing. I do want to say that Melissa Flores' tweet says, 2 years ago I was brought on board specifically to finish Boom Studios' epic MMPR run with Darkest Hour.
Was it 2 years since she...
It's 2 years.
Well, God, time flies.
Time flies. And I had a feeling of this because when I interviewed her, she was talking about how they brought her on because they were 100 issues in. They wanted somebody that knew how to navigate all the Ranger stuff and everything else, right? And so the thing is, I thought that Darkest Hour might be like the end of this Mighty Morphin era. But every time I've seen a creator talk about it, they specifically mention Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Not Power Rangers, but Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So it's, yeah. And she says, while that comic may be ending, Power Rangers will forever live on. Let's wait and see what the future holds. There is another comic coming. It's just not going to be written by Melissa Flores.
Remember, people, Boom has done stuff outside of my more with Power Rangers Unlimited.
Yep, and Power Rangers Universe and all kinds of like the one shots and the graphic novels. They could do stuff. Someone mentioned an anthology book. Kyle says wouldn't mind an anthology series. That could be cool too. Maybe we could do 2 books again. You know, have like the main book is like your new main era, and then you have like an anthology book. There's a lot of things that they can still do. And it does not seem like their license has gone away because they're going to keep going. That being said, if they're going to collect Darkest Hour into deluxe hardcover, which I hope they will, I don't want to assume anything, but I assume they will at this point, they can fit that into 2 good volumes, and we can have that whole series.
Isn't the Death Ranger arc isn't the Death Ranger hardcover coming out this week or just
at the end of May? The second Mighty Morphin / Power Rangers deluxe hardcover comes out, and then in September the 3rd one comes out, which brings us up to Mighty Morphin 100. So I think they're going to do 1 volume that's all the stuff leading to Darkest Hour, and then 1 volume of Darkest Hour. So there you go, guys. That's the comic talk for Power Rangers. Chat, got any questions? Panel, you got any questions?
Hey, I'm just happy to see a book.
Yep.
Hey, I'm just happy a book could get this last this long. I cry in Blue Beetle.
I know. Yeah, and if anybody is like, it ended too soon. Oh my God, it's been 8 years is amazing.
It's for real.
Blue Beetle only barely didn't even last a year. It came out September.
Back when I covered Valiant, when I used to actually be friends with them and like them. I remember like when Robert Venditti went to Exo Manowar and everything, and I was like, what? And then they changed writers, and they call it Exo Manowar something else. Or Fred Van Lent with Archer and Armstrong, and this would happen. After 2 years of Archer and Armstrong, there's a new Archer and Armstrong, and I remember going like, oh man. But it's still carrying on. I mean, this happens all the time.
It's like
they just change writers and stuff,
Yeah, Rainbow Rowell's She-Hulk run was She-Hulk, and then after 16 issues, they canceled it and launched Sensational She-Hulk 1 month later with Rainbow Rowell writing. Like, there was 0 point to do that. They just started the numbering over.
They did with Archer and Armstrong and Exo Manowar.
Yeah.
It was so pointless. It's literally the same writer.
They did it again with Benjamin Percy's Ghost Rider run. Just suddenly, Ghost Rider Final Vengeance is just the 23rd issue of Ghost Rider.
For some reason, it's a comic book tradition to do that,
Yeah. And even Power Rangers has done it. Like we mentioned, they went from 55 to Mighty Morphin 1 and Power Rangers 1, then went right back to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 100, right?
Welcome, Wheels. Yeah, I understand if you relaunch 50 issues and then relaunch it with number 1. That makes sense. But 60 issues, relaunch it with issue. Like, that's not even that long.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy just how the comic book fandom works. Wheels is here. Welcome, Wheels.
Bruh, there's a terrible crash like outside my house.
Oh dear, like car crash.
Oh, that's me every day, Wheels. But go ahead.
They had to call a chopper.
Sucks. Dang. Now that level.
A biker wasn't paying attention to what he was doing at the intersection and got creamed.
Dang. I'm gonna add Wheels' as Blinky icon because he's here. We're gonna do this live because I don't plan things.
Let's see. If you were to read something in the cat, let's see. Kyle,
Scout just tell Wheels about Gamera the Brave. What I told you.
We'll talk about that.
We'll talk
about
Yeah.
I love Kyle. Spider Gwen, her like 4 different solo runs. Yep, that's one right there.
4 different solo runs, like in the last year, even.
If you work them, people really show they don't know how comics work. Yep.
All right, let's talk.
It's all over.
I love Matthew.
There's no more comic books, guys. No more after this.
I love Matthew.
No more.
Matthew, Jason Aaron going from Door to Jane Door to Odison again.
Yep. All right, let's get to toy news because it's not a lot, but we need to get moving. That's not the right tab. Oh, here it is. Other toy news. I think I screwed up my order. Hold on, guys. Hang on. Oh yeah, we were I scrolled down too much. My bad. Just sit in silence for a moment. Pretend this didn't happen. Pretend you didn't see Drunk Warrior. He's supposed to be up. All right. Just Soundout put his notes in the wrong order, so his tabs don't work. All right. Boom. Okay, here we go. And McFarlane. All right, so McFarlane put up a new wave of figures. We get Modern Booster Gold from the New 52 era.
I do really wish he came with Skeets. He does kind of look empty without any accessories.
Does he come with nothing but a flight stand?
Yeah, just a flight stand. No Skeet. No, I really wish he just at least came with Skeet in the very least.
No Legion flight ring either. How is he flying?
Shush.
We got a Mr. Freeze, who's looking really cool.
It's the reboot Freeze, but in anime series code, which I think looks real nice.
Mm-hmm. And the reason that I keep on living, Ambush Bug.
Ambush Bug. What's the little doll he comes with again?
I don't have the time.
I know it's a Flash, but no, it's not.
It's not Flash. It's a weird little character. Ambush Bug is like one of the fourth wall breaking characters, and I love him.
Do you have a figure during Mattel?
He never had a figure before. That's why I proved it.
Yeah, I saw people going like, "Oh man, they could do this character and that character." And look, I want those characters also, but like Ambush Bug never got a figure before.
Like,
let them do him.
As long as they're doing characters that never had toys before, I won't get mad they aren't doing certain characters. But like,
that Ambush Bug has been mostly relevant because of Verse Online. Makes me shocked he wasn't made of figures.
Yeah, DC Universe Online's used him a lot. He's been popping up in comics lately. He was in Blue Beetle recently. He was on the Suicide Squad for a bit.
How was that book? I heard you not bad things about it.
It was pretty good.
On the Suicide Squad.
What was that?
What did he actually do as a part of the Suicide Squad?
He carried guns because he was on the squad, but he mostly was like there to like point out how traumatizing and horrible everything was. Can't decide where to put Winky Wheels. Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right, and then Todd was at C2E2 and accidentally spoiled his own toy. The White Knight Batmobile was on the Todd table. Yay!
I still need to read those books. I heard good things about the White Knight.
I like the White Knight universe. So
I love the White Knight Azrael design.
Yeah,
I had that figure.
All right, time to clown on Star Wars. Just kidding, it's not that bad. There's a Imperial Officer disguised Cal Kestis. So for that one level, if you wanted that figure over literally any character from Jedi Survivor, and then Mandalorian Judge, who's I mean, at least it's not a blue Mando, okay? At least it's not a blue Mando.
Oh, the sky is blue. We got another Mando from Hasbro.
Yep. There will be a Star Wars stream this Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. So they did say they've delayed the announcement of the Vintage Collection Haslab. It's not going to be this week, after all, which is fine. All right, now in other toy news, there is now a Revoltech Junk Warrior coming after my wallet after the Yusei Fudo. So 5D's Nation Rise Up. Great fit for Revoltech joints, though. He looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they make another, I think it's probably because Junk Warrior is like Yusei's main. I'll say Stardust, but he's a dragon. Like is there any other humanoid monsters that Yusei use that they could make another one of?
Yep.
Which ones?
Probably they could get away with making Nitro Warrior, Turbo Warrior, any of the ones featured opening credits.
Oh, that's true. They could go with those. And then Jada Toys Mega Man Wave 2 is up for pre-order. I won't go through all the pictures. You guys can go find them. But Wave 2 is up for order. So it's Alec Man, Cutman, and Hyperbomb Mega Man.
Yeah, you got those. I love the first wave.
In Sentai, or Bandai Toy News, there is a new Memorial Edition Gabu Revolver. What's the official name on this? It is the Gabutsu Revolver, because they can't make a name that sounds normal being spoken by people. This is the new power-up Gabu Revolver being used in Kyoryuger versus King Oger. And it comes with Judenshi 24 and 25, which are different Judenshi than the ones used in Kyoryuger Brave. So, start the canon debates now.
It's non-canon.
Yeah, pick your canon. Anyways, that looks nice. And then I've always
find the Brave fans a little cringe.
The also Memorial Edition of the what is this called? The King Gabri caliber, the one used by King Kyoryu Red in King Oger, and yes, it turns into the form to plug on as a cannon, where the original deluxe one couldn't because they locked it in place for some reason. So
For some reason.
Yep, and there you go. Also, Anime Heroes Sasuke is now getting his Akatsuki coat version, known as the Taka version, and he comes with his electric sword, and his arms are very, very long.
That is the Anime Hero Naruto figure style. I'm not too big on it. I mean, I understand why, because
there's a reason I abandoned this line for Figuarts.
I mean, there's definitely some highlight. I think like I think like the Jiraiya figure was really good, and I think it's one of those like I'm not too into the style, but I think overall they're fine figures. Figures. I think there's definitely some highlights in there, like the Gaara or the Jiraiya and such like that.
All right, let's get to SH Figuarts. I'm moving the show along because we talked way too much about comics earlier. All right. Yeah, that was an Anime Hero figure. All right. Okay, so SH Figuarts Boon Red. I still reject the BUN spelling of Boon.
Oh, no. Except the buns.
I'm not expecting the buns.
Mateki, what the hell are you talking about?
Anyways, Boon Red is coming out. Don't hold your breath for the other four because
It's a Sentai figure art.
They're gonna make Red and one other dude. That's it. But he looks nice. I mean, look at him. He's booning. He's booning good. Look at him. Boon man. All right. And then we also got finally the Yu Yu Hakusho Yusuke Urameshi.
Is he up to pre-order? Because I know he was officially revealed already, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was officially revealed, but now he's up for pre-order. So we can see his effect parts, like his stand and his blast effects, and his running, and his thumbs upping, and his extra heads. He's coming out in September in Japan. He is getting a U.S. release. Boon Red is not getting a U.S. release. I forgot to mention that. Spendash said oven baked Sentai Boom Bredger. Yeah. Anyways, Yusuke. Jerry, do you have any further thoughts on the Yusuke? If he's even here.
No.
No. I mean, it's pretty much what we saw, right? So. All right. SH Figuarts Jar Jar Binks, Japan only, premium Bandai release. He looks like a goofy goober. Look at him. We've seen him before, but it's nice to see. He comes with a frog to eat, and he has a thumbs up, and he can be, taken prisoner by battle droids, and he can argue with Qui-Gon, and swim.
And be himself.
He can be himself. Look at that Jar Jar. All right, and then next up,
till people get him to recreate the clothesline scene.
Oh yeah,
on Twitter this weekend. When Jar Jar just out of nowhere.
Can you turn your mic up at all, Wheels? Because I have you maxed out and I can barely hear you.
Not just Discord saying it's being, stupid.
I mean, see if you can tweak the settings because I'm barely hearing you.
It's just Discord again, Discord's sucking.
Yep. Gridman, SH Figuarts Shinkocho Seiho Gridman.
Gridman man.
Gurido man. Thomas Webstop exclusive, January 2025. It says there's a U.S. release, but it's not on P-Bandai US. Then again, they were down for maintenance for a whole week.
According to Spin Dash in the chat, regarding Gridman, despite being on P-Bandai Japan, there's no signs of him on P-Bandai US. Maybe the retail here. I hope he is,
that'd be cool.
I hope he is, because I do want, because I missed out getting the Ultrac Gridman, and he looks so much better.
At 11,000 yen, though, I am definitely good with the super mini ply I have. Even though he does look nice, he's got the beam, he's got the sword and the shield. The
mini ball is nice, but he's like tiny.
Yeah,
he is tiny. He won't scale with your other like.
Well, when he's combined in his armor form, he's about the size of an Ultraman figure art. So
yeah, so if you want like a normal sized Gridman, this is great, and he looks fantastic.
He does. I think he looks really good. Jeremy Carr says to upgrade Ultra Act or not. I would say upgrade. Right, Wheels?
The Ultra Act looks so spindly.
Yeah.
What are you
saying? Jeremy Carr's asking to upgrade Ultra Act Gridman to this or not.
Oh, yeah, because I never even got it because it was such a clunky SOB. Like, I skipped the pre-orders for it because it was too much as an Ultra Act.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's too much now, but at least the money makes up for being a Shinchoko Seiho with all the accuracy and stuff. So, like, that one just kind of was mid. And then if you got it with the upgrade parts, they were, like, also very mid. Like, if I recall, I think the joints were breaking because of the die cast used in the
Yeah,
undergradient pieces.
I forgot, didn't they? Yeah,
I think they used die cast or harder plastic, so it pressed the joints.
Yep. All right. Next up, SH Figuarts Black King is coming back out again in a new reissue with some paint differences.
We're gonna get some new
that one probably.
We're really need some new kaiju in this line. It's getting ridiculous.
And then Hobby Genki just posted these prototype images of an SH Figuarts Portugas de Ace.
This out of nowhere.
I have no idea where these came from, and I guess we'll find out if the Bandai snipers get me. But he looks fantastic, and even though I have the anime heroes, like this does look like I want this. Like he looks really good, and he's got like a cloth robe for his Alabasta look. So I'm like, I'm kind of into this. I'm kind of thinking I might need it. We'll see. I will say, because the anime heroes can't wear his hat, that's a big selling point of the figure art. All right, Digimon Liberator time. So, for those not keeping up, Digimon Liberator is a manga series based on the Digimon
web manga
card game.
Specifically a web manga. There's
a web manga, yes.
So if you read it, reads like a web comic, web manga, not like...
It's a vertical scrolling comic, basically.
Yeah.
So, Digimon Liberator Chapter 1 is now out. You can read it. What's cool is you're not restricted to just reading it on the Digimon.net website, which had a loading issue when it launched. It is available on Global Comics as well as Webtoon, so you have options to read it. It definitely, compared to the preview chapter when it was posted on Digimon.net, the translation's a lot better. They actually have drawn in English versions of sound effect balloons and stuff, so they put some work into this. It will be on well, Benjamin Wiseman, it is a web manga. Pacing is completely different in a vertical scrolling comic than a traditional style. Anyways, Digimon Liberator is going to be every 2 weeks. It's not going to be weekly, which is probably giving him time to do translation stuff, and that is pretty cool.
Wait, say again? It's going to be monthly?
Every 2 weeks.
Oh, every 2 weeks.
Yep. We got a new promo art, which is got their new scary black Imperial Dramon redesign in the background, looking like a villain. They've also paired this cute Digimon with the super edgy looking guy, so they're doing it right. I quite enjoyed Chapter 1. It was nice. It plays into the theme, the card game heavily. They use the rules from the card game.
I haven't read it yet, but people tell me it really reminded them of early Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of times.
Definitely does. There's a theme song in English and Japanese, which have been posted. The Digivice is a deck case, and this is like it is in the manga itself, and they are making the toy version of the D storage, which is the Digivice, which means
is it
I have to buy a deck case.
Well, is it actually electronic, or is it just a cardboard box?
No idea. It's definitely not cardboard. It's plastic,
it's one of those fancy car holders.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna have electronics. I just know I have to get it, and then conversely buy the. I hope they just do starter decks for all the main characters because they are doing starter decks of these too.
I know. I forget the company, but I watched some those YouTube shorts of those Marvel themed deck boxes, extreme deck boxes where they look like Tokusatsu gimmick items where they open up with 12 folds and all that crazy stuff. These deck boxes are insane. It's actually pretty smart to make that the Digivice.
It is pretty smart. And it is a card game related web manga. It's Infinite asks, so it's Digimon Tamers 2.0. It's like that if the card game actually mattered to the plot. So MJ Klein, if you can't get Webtoon, it's on Global Comics and it's also on the Digimon.net website. There's options. It's on 3 different places. So, anyways,
it's free.
It's free. It's free on all of them too. Yeah, it's free on everything. Yeah, in the series itself, they're like, oh yeah, you load your deck in here, and then he holds it. So it is a thing in the series itself. I just hope all the characters have starter decks. So I don't have to booster pack dive. There also is going to be a separate web novel released every 3 months, I think, which is going to be a spinoff featuring this girl and her Impmon.
But is that the same Impmon from Tamers for his evolution? Nope.
Exactly, because here's his evolution line where he returned to his roots, because Impmon was supposed to be the main character's Digimon in Tamers before they switched it to Guilmon. So they gave him a Guilmon like reference line, basically.
Interesting. I did not know that. I guess
Yeah.
because he does look similar to Vmon, that's why they had to change him.
Yeah, they changed him because they wanted something that looked more like Agumon. That's what they got Guilmon. So giving him a line that looks like Groundmon to War Groundmon to Megidramon is really appropriate. These are all new Digimon. We don't have names for them yet.
I'm actually curious. Do you think, like, he has the quote unquote Mega Dramon equivalent? Do you think he will? Do you think they'll make a new version of Gallimon, or will he just Digimon to Chaos Gallimon if he does like have a split evolution line kind of thing?
Chaos Gallimon would be cool. I think that'd be cool to see. Adding to this, another new character. Freaking come on, companies, give me names I can say, not Winner. Is it supposed to be Winner? Like WINR is not a name. I'm sorry. What? It doesn't work for me. But Fun Beamon is going to be his partner, which is cool. So, and he's also wearing a V-Pet for a necklace. Here's the characters for the comic, the web manga side. These are the characters revealed so far officially, and then this is the novel characters. So, Impmon and Fanbemon's partners are that. So Winner, Whiner, somebody. That is the big dump of news on this. This is our Digimon thing of the year, I think.
I mean, the best part is it's doing really well by the looks of it.
Yes, it is #1 on Global Comics and Webtoon, so that's really good.
That's great to hear.
Yep.
I mean, the tree has the next Digimon engine. They made a full theme song and everything for it.
Yeah, they're going hard with it. I won't get into super deep details because I know not a lot of people in the chat are like VPET people, but the Digimon Pendulum Color Wave 2 now exists, which includes the number 4 Wind Guardians, number 5 Metal Empire, and 0, which is Virus Busters, I think, or Virus BS, something like that. Anyways, 3 more of those. Crazy Swimmer Man is here, and they work like the others, so like no big surprises here, but those exist. All right, you guys ready to talk about Transformers?
Transformers.
Hey, do you guys want to guess how many of this week's reveals leaked? If you guess
fair,
all of them.
I don't think Robos and Megatron got leaked officially.
Officially, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna talk about our very weird week of Transformers news. I was a little miffed in a way. Okay, so starting off with Transformers Leak Watch 2024 on April 23rd. On April 23rd, Legacy United Deluxe Cybertron Hotshot got leaked. Then on April 24th, Voyager Cybertron Vector Prime got leaked. Then on April 24th as well, Armorizer Nucleus got leaked. So this was weird because I didn't know we were getting something. Because there was a fan stream on the 25th, and they announced it. Look at this. They announced this as Transformers X Robosen and put Megatron's face. And the official description was like, get ready to roll out, Transformers fans. Gear up for an exciting Transformers X Robosen fan stream on April 25th, exclusively on Hasbro's YouTube channel. Prepare for the most menacing reveal that will redefine the shape of innovation and collectible thrill in the Transformers universe. Are you ready to witness the next evolution in robotic mastery? It's more than meets the eye. That said to me, it was only going to be about Robosen Megatron and nothing else.
I'm pretty sure they did, like, I'm pretty sure for all the other Robosen review, like the Grimlock, or I think they did one for Bumblebee, it was just Robosen, nothing else before.
So, of course, I was surprised when we got an entire stream, including reveals, including pipelines.
Pipeline.
Let's go through it. First things first, our trio here. Yay trio. Next up, they showed off the Transformers 1 Deluxe Optimus. Now it makes sense why they didn't show this last week, because they were supposed to reveal it this week. But it went up for order last week, so there's that. We already talked about him. Then they talked about Robosen Megatron for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, just 5 minutes.
It was really short. They're like, "Look at this thing, isn't it cool?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's fine." Then they showed Comic Grimlock because he went up for pre-order.
I do love the videos of seeing the Robosen Megatron fighting the Robosen Optimus. It is funny to see the two robots just fight each other.
It is pretty fun. They showed us in-hand looks at the Comic Grimlock. I ordered mine because I'm a sucker, and you get me with comic stuff. Then they showed Swoop, and I think the coolest part about showing Swoop was showing all the Dinobots together.
That group shot.
Yep. And like Jeremy Carr says, please hit the like button if you would, because it's easy, it's free, and it helps support the channel. Okay, so there was that, and Then they talked about Sideswipe and Sunstreaker and Shockwave, who are out in UDEF stores. Then they showed Sideburn, which we had talked about extensively. I don't think we need to add too much. They did say he's metallic painted, or not metallic. They put some metallic in his blue plastic to give him a little bit of shine.
Hopefully that doesn't shatter.
Hopefully that doesn't shatter, but he's now official. Then the Rock Lord that leaked, I already forgot his name.
The Rock Nucleus. The Rock It Car. Yeah.
Rocket Car, yeah.
I do like this guy. I like
cool.
space. I like his spaceman look a lot.
They did say they named him after Nucleon, which is the substance that turns you into an Action Master, which I thought was kind of fun.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, he looks pretty neat, but I mean, he's I think he's an engineering share with the first Rock Car.
Yes, he is. I like him more than the first one. Honestly,
I do too.
Like.
He's also the #1 victim of yellowing plastic syndrome if they don't use the right material.
Yeah.
All right, now here's, I think, probably the best reveal, which is the Cybertron Hotshot Deluxe. I have the original Cybertron Hotshot. That's a great toy. This is an improvement.
First off, it's the day get leaked. At least it wasn't like a whole month, like Wave 2.
Yeah, it was like 2 days before.
Yeah. But yeah, he looks great. How do you guys? Because I know some people were debating on the whole color of his car. Well, because I think in the anime he's more of a gray, silver blue, and here's the toy color light blue. Which one do you guys prefer? Because I don't mind either personally.
I don't think I'd ever notice the difference. So personally, I'm fine with this.
He looks great. I mean, this really proved taking that original toy, because the original toy was so simple. And
Wheels, you around? You got thoughts on Hotshot?
Looks really great. I think the only thing they missed out on molding were like his pipes and his wrist guards that were like blasters. I think
he did. He did have those inside.
They're inside the door. There's not enough room now because it's a little bit smaller. A little bit.
Yeah, but it's one of those. He had those inside
was the only thing they really missed on this.
Yeah.
Can't
wait for all the hundreds.
Look like they were there somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait for all the hundreds of repaints.
Yep.
For this thing.
He looks great.
He also got the Cyber Key.
Yep.
Let's go with the Cyber Key.
All right. Can I complain? Am I allowed to complain?
Look,
I'm pretty fair,
but
on
shit posting.
So what is your? Because I'm curious. Because I'm personally okay with the Vector Prime. I just think he needs a bit more gold paint. I would say the physical.
I think it needs more tooling.
Let's look at the physical toy versus these renders. I think these renders do.
I think the gold. I would say the paint job looks a lot better on the physical toy than these render photos.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna quote Arctic Storm on Twitter because I think they said it best when they said it's not that Vector Prime is bad, but after Starscream and Hotshot, and after Override, Starscream, and Hotshot, he's incredibly underwhelming.
And to be fair, they needed to use that G-axis mold because he was like the only one that ever got like reused.
Really I wasn't expecting a G-axis remold, and I'll give him credit for pulling off a G-axis remold.
Honestly, besides the legs, I think they pull it off. Honestly, I think they managed.
I have such a big problem with these legs, and I'm gonna even like. Can I zoom this in? How do I do this? Do I click back? Can I zoom in?
Can you open the image in a new tab?
Yeah, I'm going to open the image in a new tab. I got it. Oh, it's tiny. What the hell? Why are you...
Well, because you hit the thumbnail, not the actual photo.
Oh, yeah, I did. Come on. I want to just drag this image. There we go. Okay, guys, I have a massive, 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 massive problem with these legs. I don't care that they're G-axis legs and they didn't do any remolding. I do care that they left parts open like this.
The tabs?
The open tabs. What the hell? Like, this is a $35 toy, and G-Axis has things to fill that. He has his little demon wings. Why not put something in there if you're not going to remold it to get those things off of there?
They put like this little like just replace the demon wings with this little more satellite wings.
Like much. He's got these satellite things on his back as part of his design. Just add 2 more of those. And if the budget isn't there for that, skip the Cyber Key. Because this looks like an unfinished toy. And it costs $35. I do not like that whatsoever. It actually ruins the experience for me. I think overall, he looks good, and I think they pulled it off. But like, leaving empty clips like that is making me concerned that they think that's okay. And if the budgets are getting so squeezed that we can't finish the toys, I am horrified at what could happen in the future. That's my biggest problem. It bugs me.
I get it, but I feel like it's a little over dramatic to say something like that because it's small.
It is small.
It is small, and
they could have just molded.
But let me
that
ask.
out.
Let me put this in a different perspective. Say you're Joe Average Toy Collector. Say you're a kid picking up a toy, right? And you notice that something's not. You notice that there's like that weird gap, right? Do you return the toy to the store because you think it's missing a part? Do you try to figure out what it's... Because the thing is, like, you won't notice it...
It's on the box... it's on the box render.
Right, it's on the box render. But how many people are going to be looking at it that close? Because the thing is it's kind of like Gears' chest plate, right? Where the toy looks like it's missing it. And there's not anywhere in the box that tells you it's in the box, in the little accessory thing. Right? And if you don't know that Gears' chest plate is in the accessory, you're going to look at that toy and think it's missing something. This is worse because you can't see this in the window. But it just...
but like, Gears, at least I understand that, but here it's such a small thing.
But
it's not like it's not missing a chest plate. It's
not missing a chest plate, but it's missing something. I think the problem is that they don't have the budget to do this right, apparently, because if you don't have the budget to remold something, or you don't have they could have stuck some, like, little... They don't even have to make it fancy, just something to clip into place to fill that slot. Because the thing is that it's not so much on this toy that I find it to be a problem. I just have a problem that they did that in general, because it makes me worried they're going to continue to go further with that.
I don't think so. It's such a...
That's what I'm worried about. There's no way to quell my fear until we go, another year or so without doing this,
I don't want to argue about this, but I do think you just take it a little too... It's a problem.
I gotta tell you,
yes.
I am so forgiving to the Transformers team. I give them a lot of slack. This is my one thing that bugs me. I think I'm allowed one thing that actually bugs me that I have a problem with, and it is bothering me. It's still bothering me.
They should have just made more versions of his solar sails to clip in there as like some kind of accessory, because by doing that it can happen again.
Yeah,
I think what they could...
If it doesn't happen after this, okay, it's just one time they got.
If this is just one time, I will drop this. I will not bring this up like I do Legacy Scourge all the time. It doesn't bother me that way.
I just think your words and reaction is too much. I think...
I know, but I've said on this for days it's still bothering me.
That's what a reaction is.
But that's what the reaction is. I'm not going to lie to you and say that I think it's fine, because it has been bothering me since they revealed it.
It does look... It definitely does look bad. No, totally. I get it. It just... I fear... Because I think... feeling... It's one of those, like...
No one else has brought it up. I haven't seen anyone mention it outside out.
I'm not saying... I am not saying it's a... This is acceptable. No, I am not defending this. Please, no, I am not defending this.
You're not defending it. I got that. It's no problem.
I'm saying that thinking these small little open gaps I'm just saying, you fearing for the future of the figures by these two gaps is a little too... Like, it's definitely like a lookout, definitely. But
it's something I'm going to keep an eye on, because it's not something I thought they'd ever do, because this has been... But the thing is, with Hasbro themselves, as a company, they have been going cheaper and cheaper with their product. It's not a great look to see something like this.
Definitely.
The one time where a lot of the people who've been complaining about Hasbro getting cheap, I feel like if they notice this, they're going to use this for the end of days.
That's another... that's another problem, too.
Because if you don't know, a lot of people say that Legacy is cheaper than I guess you would call it the Wars trilogy.
The War for Sergeant trilogy.
No. Yeah. Pretty much everyone's saying that these toys are cheaper than those, but like there were a lot of cheap toys during that trilogy as well.
And like, again, like, this is definitely a problem, definitely, but it's one of those things where it's one of the things where, look, like, it's one of those you have to take... I imagine if I was a designer on this, and I was working on it, and when we go to the legs and find out, we had no money to make the change the legs, and then realize we had those wings on there, and there's no other option, it's once you have to take the loss.
Yeah.
So,
no, I totally see how this happens. I totally get it. Yeah.
And I'm saying this as someone who works. I'm saying this as someone who works in production on stuff. There's times where we had to take the loss on something, and trust me, I hate it when I had to do something like that at work because I feel like I'm getting the customers that order our expensive electronic stuff. But it's one of those we just have to take the loss because it's either wait like weeks to get that one part in, or ship it out to make our customers happy. It sucks. It really sucks.
It really does
it's
suck.
Not,
yeah,
and I'm sure the designers are not happy about that either. But it's one of those you have to take the loss to get the product out there.
Yep.
Scenario.
I will say,
and
this goes.
Probably should have.
Yeah, go ahead.
Probably should have figured out how they could have turned Geoxys into somebody else, where it could have worked.
Oh yeah, I think I think the Geoxys mold.
Kyle, we can't blame this on John Warden. He didn't work on any of these toys.
Yeah, John Warden won't.
Warden didn't work on any of this stuff. This has been in the works for months.
I think what they could have done is if they could have found a way to rework the remold later, to just retool this completely. Like, we got like an Amazon, make him an Amazon exclusive or something, where they'd get maybe a little bit of the extra budget. That would have been fine. Because with this mold, they could have probably found some other character where they could have done that and slapped on the Geoxys wings again, and not have to worry about them saying, "Oh, it's missing," versus having to redo the entire leg.
Because that's the thing with the Cybertron designs. They're so simple, but yet also complex that you need that kind of extra budget. Because remember, Override was a Walmart exclusive. That got Walmart money because that was really gonna be a hot remold. And even though Hotshot he looks good, he's a deluxe, and he's also very simple. But also Cybertron Starscream, he's a great figure, but he's Game Workshop gray. He is kind of plain looking, and that figure looks still amazing, but he is definitely plain looking. So they're always good. The retail Cybertron figures isn't like a Titan like Metroplex. It's got to, and even Metroplex had to take a loss on not having
cuts. Yeah,
it had no minicon and horrible hands. So they're always Cybertron designs need that extra money if you really want a 100% true anime and original toy figure. I will say that I'm happy at least because I haven't got original Vector Prime because I wanted the Kara version and not the original Hasbro release because original Hasbro released a horrible brown instead of the purple he used to have. And I'm really happy it's the purple here. So he's definitely I place in my shelf. I'll say that.
I think that's also why the empty peg bugs me because everything else is so good, and then it's just that one flaw, right? It's that one. It's the one flaw in an overall pretty great package. Because I love the Geoxys mold, and so I think this is a good toy. It's just that one part of it's and you know what the thing is for me, and I will say this is a personal thing. I don't need cyber keys, even when they're tiny. It's nice to have the cyber keys, but I
feel like here's a good one, Soundout.
I don't need mini cons either. I'm one of those weirdos that's I don't care about the mini cons. I don't care about the cyber keys.
Hey, Soundout, I got a good one.
Yeah.
The cyber keys should only be released. Here now. The cyber key should be the actual Planet Cyber key that had the gold trim.
Yeah, because they're a plot board.
Leaders of those. But have an individual key makes sense why he has it. And then you would have it that Override should have had the Planet key, which was with the gold and the red.
Metroplex should have come with his.
Scourge, he'll have the jungle one. And if they make Evac, he'll have the Earth one. And if they make Meta, you'd have the Titan one.
Yeah, Metroplex should have come with.
Dear chat, mini-cons and micromasters are different things. Micromasters are actual characters in fiction. Mini-cons are MacGuffin pieces.
I feel like the mini-cons should be... The mini-cons should just be sold in core sets.
But anyways, back on track of the cyber keys. I agree. It should just be the actual plot-relevant ones. Because, it's nice that, the Cybertron Starscream has a cyber key, but I also feel like I'm going to lose it. Because it's so tiny. And I feel like it's going to fly off one day.
I think it is smart how they engineered the key to fit on Metroplex's chest there.
Vector Prime's chest,
placed in.
I mean,
I think And I think like here with the Jackson mold, I think it works because it's the silhouette. I think they really have the Jackson silhouette works with retro.
Falcon's Tech
Vector
says
Prime.
this. I think this is a good way to put it. Falcon's Tech says the legs knock it down from being great to only pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good.
That's a good. I will agree with that. I will say, in terms of budgets, the third wave is our budget wave of the year. There always is one that has less money pumped into it.
Because what is
Hot Shot is a new mold. Sideburn is a retooled head and repaint. The Rock is a re-engineered shell.
Is there a repack in it? I would say there's a repack.
There's a repack of Strong Arm. Vector Prime's a G-Axis remold. Galvatron, which they didn't show Armada Galvatron, weirdly enough, but he's a Megatron repaint.
I'm assuming that means the Wave 3... that means the second Voyager of Wave 3 is a repack then?
Probably a repack, yeah. And considering we got... What is it? We got 4 new Voyagers in a row. It kind of makes sense that we're up for a retool.
Yeah, because I think was it Wave 3 of Evolution was also the retool wave also. Yep.
And then I hope we get something cool in Wave 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I think overall, like I think as a Cybertron fan, because that is my my first Transformers. I'm happy with the Vector Prime and Hotshot, and such. I do hope whenever we do get another Cybertron character, I hope they can get the budget they need to make it the best as possibly can, because again, essentially Vector Prime is a character that has so much detail that it's hard to do him in a retail line, and I commend what they were able to do. Can he be better? Definitely, but I think I do commend what they were able to do with the resources they have.
They pulled off something pretty good. It's close to greatness, but budgets are budgets, right? That's the unavoidable truth of all of this. The thing I will say is that this is also why I try not to put too much stock into listings, because this I think is why I don't like leak listings in some ways, is because you hear the words and you start picturing what it is, especially when you're getting listings for 2025.
Never forget Scourge.
Exactly. Legacy RID Scourge sounds like a dream on paper, and I imagine how that toy was going to look in my head, and then when I got the final toy, it was nothing about what I thought it was. This is closer, but I think that's also the danger of having listings a whole year out, because it's too much time to think about what it's going to look like, and then when the final product comes out, we're like, oh, that's not what I thought, so that's also why I don't like reporting on listings, and I kind of try to forget about them. So that way I can kind of enjoy things for what they are, not what I think they should be. Adding to this, I don't remember, was there anything? Oh, the pipeline reveals. All these guys are up for pre-order. For some reason, everybody sold out, except for Hotshot, I think. Or is it Sideburn? I think Sideburn was the one that hung on. Pulse sold out of everybody else. It was so weird. All right, pipeline reveals. Another one of, don't get your hopes up until you see it thing. Studio Series 86 Steeljaw. Which is, I imagine, a core class figure. If for some reason he was a leader class ultimate pack, I'd be weirded out. But they're like, "Here's your life-size Steeljaw you asked for."
I want that to be
Titan class Steeljaw, and he's just full size. We've got the Studio Series Gamer Edition.
Mookman. He's literally the Viacon. He's the Mookman.
Oh yeah, Kyle asked how many characters were missing left from Studio Series 86. They could keep going for a while. There's still a bunch, because you start getting into the people that aren't we're starting to get out of the main cast, and now we're starting to get into they were also in the movie.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so I think he's gonna be a remold of the Barricade mold. So he's just gonna be army builder Viacon. I mean, what's nice is you can display with any collection. Honestly.
That's true. Yeah.
He's just a grunt.
He just fits in. Bumblebee movie Skywarp.
Not surprised. More of that mold, Jet mold. People love the Skywarp.
Yep. I thought that's a Blitzwing mold they show there. Is that the Tetrajet?
No, it's a Tetrajet. The wings are the biggest hell.
Oh,
it's the Tetrajet.
Then this we're not going to discourse this. We're just going to wait for them to actually reveal it. It's 86 Leader Class Springer, which we knew come from listings. They said they took the Siege and plussed it up. We'll see what that means, because I've seen plus it up go from it has more paint to plus it up being we remolded the entire thing.
To more accessories. I think some of the this thing caused a lot of drama for some reason. I don't get it.
Because people are thinking it's just a repack with some extra accessories. When I think it's probably a heavy retool. Because I don't think they need to abandon the engineering of the Siege one. They just need to G1 it.
I think it has to be a retool because Siege Springer does not look like the whole point of 86 to look like their movie counterparts, and Siege Springer does not look like 86 Springer.
Exactly.
So they had to retool it. I'm just happy because he's like the only big CN3 cast member we're missing.
Yep.
So I'm glad we're finally getting him again.
I'm ready to buy. Once I buy him, I'm done with the 86 cast for the rest of my life. I'm good. I don't ever need to do this again. I've owned them way too many times. There also was the Studio Series Bumblebee.
So, do you think it's the Volkswagen Cliff Jumper mold or no? Because I'm not sure about this one. Because
it's either going to be the Volkswagen mold or it's going to be a mini masterpiece. I just hope it's not a mini masterpiece in the sense of all that junk that he's got on that masterpiece.
Because isn't still that the Volkswagen mold is still stuck on exclusive land where it only could be exclusive or something like that?
I don't think so, because everything else that was around it has been freed from exclusive land. So
it's just the whole Volkswagen is such a weirdness.
It's just the Volkswagen problem, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the Volkswagen so weird.
He's going to be a VW bugger. They wouldn't have done him.
I'm looking for because I still don't have I never got the Netflix. Bumblebee, mostly because I never got it because I was a big fan of the head. I never liked Bumblebees that look sad.
Yeah. Hellfire said Bumblebee was listed as level A rather than normal size class. So clarification on that. Level A is applied to the Transformers 1 Optimus Prime. And what I learned is that apparently level A is going to be a case pack of 8 where it's 4 Bumblebees and 4 Optimus Primes. So 4 of this 86 Bumblebee and 4 of the Transformers 1 Prime. And they're not like listed as a wave assortment. They're just 2 figures taking up a case of 8.
Isn't that what they've been doing recently, right? For
Hasbro
most
of the waves have only been 2 figures, so that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
But it's like that's why they're calling it A level, because there'll be more of them in a case. It's weird. And then the big announcement, the thing that made me so happy and made this entire experience worth it. They are doing for the comic line, which is a Pulse exclusive. They are doing a Straxus as the 3rd release.
Here's the does that mean he's gonna be a retool then? Because
possibly.
Who do you think is possibly? Yeah, that works.
Because Galvatron has the same vehicle mode or the same alt mode as Straxus does in the comics. Straxus turns into a giant platform cannon, and Galvatron
also does proportions. Also, their fortunes match also.
Yep. The good news is we're getting new Straxus, and the better news is it's not going to be that weird legacy design that leaked that they never did.
Also, the good lesson note, they finally got the name back.
And they finally got the name back. He's not Darkmount anymore. They're not giving him his mountain's name anymore. He will be the 3rd release, and they said there's a 4th one coming. So this is going to be they're going to be doing a lot of these comic-based figures. But it's nice to see the 3rd one is not just here's a famous character in different colors. But we're getting a new character, which means we should see more of that. Like, I'm probably thinking this is how I'm getting a Thunderwing, is this line.
Secretly, it's Steph's head.
Yeah, that'd be funny. That was the stream. Weird that we had a stream, because, again, we thought it was just Robos and Megatron. But they covered all their leaks. We're back up to no leaks of
for now.
Hasbro products.
Watch someone sneeze and a new leak comes out.
I know. Wave 4 is going to... one of these pipeline reveals is going to leak next. That's just my guess.
I know. It'd be my first joke when the Hot Shot got leak is like, remember back in the day where the leaks were just like secret, stolen from the factory, quick photo? Now we're getting like environmental shots now.
Yep.
He's sleeping.
That's true. People have been taking them outdoors now.
Craziness. It's just funny we got to that point with leaks where back then it's like, oh, we must hide and keep secret that we stole the sticker. Now it's like, hey guys, look,
it's in my backyard. Yeah, and that's the news. I'll just turn the news off now. Done. We did the news. Apologies for the heated discussion about Vector Prime's
legs.
I knew it was going to be a heated discussion. I just felt really strongly about it. And we all felt a little strongly about it, and I think we all kind of came to like a nice midpoint of like the toy's still good. It's just not as good as it could have been, right? It's just That's just where it's at, that kind of thing.
Mm.
But I don't know but here's the thing. I have original Vector Prime, so my debate of do I actually buy it is up in question, but I will be buying Hotshot for sure. So we'll see how things play out. I didn't think I was going to buy Animated Optimus, but here he is.
How do you feel about it?
I was like, I'm good on animated toys. Oh no, I bought the best Optimus Prime in years.
Yeah, he's a great figure.
I think this also colored my opinion on Vector Prime. Because I looked at this and I was like, oh, this is an incredibly chunky, like, there's not even gaps in this dude. And then I look at Vector Prime, I'm like, he's got open clips. Yeah, no, the Optimus is great. I got Animated Bumblebee when Target was doing their 30% off sale. He's in the other room. He's on deck to be filmed.
He's a nice little toy.
He is. I'm glad I got him on sale though, because he did not feel worth $25.
Yeah, he's tiny.
So tiny. He's bigger. He's bigger than G1 Cliffjumper and Bumblebee, but he's less bulky, so he just feels tiny. As this J4 Jason said, would it even be a sound stream without the required tirade? That is a good point. We do that a lot. We should mix it up like next week and not tirade about anything, not have any hot takes about anything. Just like
watch something will come out this week.
Something Power Rangers related is going to happen in the next week, I bet.
Please no, I want this Rangers to go on rest.
I would like Power Rangers to just go on rest and then we just wait for the comic news to pop up. But boy, Big Bad Toy Store has Figure Arts Gridman, but it's an import of the Japanese release. Okay, let me go check. Yeah, okay, let's see. If you want Gridman, he's up on Big Bad for $105 with a $10.50 non-refundable deposit. I would wait personally to see what the U.S. release is.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting because I feel like there's
only one time Tamashii promised a U.S. release and never gave it, and that was Kamen Rider 02.
And that was because it's Kamen Rider.
That's because it's 01 related. So, Gridman doesn't have rubber Muteki. What are you talking about?
And I kind of wish they did like a pack and junk with that Seiho.
I mean, pack-in junk is buying figure arts in general. I'm kidding. No, I actually like figure arts. That's when you buy monster arts. That's when you get packed-in junk. It's called the entire toy.
Pretty much.
That specific SHF figure is Tokusatsu stuff. It's you pay $100 to get a figure with like just only like 5 hands,
yeah,
one weapon. Getting all these anime figure arts with multiple hands and faces and hands and accessories and their and better range for articulation.
Rubber? Where's the rubber at? I can't even see it. Is it his crotch?
Where? Yeah.
Does he have a rubber crotch?
Accurate to the suit.
Can we stop making them this accurate to the suits, please? The suits do not hold up. If anyone's looked at the recent Kamen Rider Gotchard episode, suits do not hold up. Don't replicate them.
Still on the duct tape 5 pointer.
I know. I like that in Kabuto's degrading crotch action. Oh yeah, it is the crotch plate on Gridman. It is that softer. It's not rubber, but it's like a softer material.
Here's the thing. That's I'm not surprised because they use that on the anime figure arts to get better leg movement. So I think that's safe, honestly.
It probably it should be. It's not like the joints. Hey, yeah, and Spin Dash, a good point. After Tiga and Black, everything's been fine since. So, you guys got any further thoughts on things today? I feel like we all were at each other's throats over Vector Prime's clips.
Well, not me.
Not Kaus though. Kaus is like, I don't care about Transformers. You guys can just keep going. Kaus is like the mediator, right? He's like, I don't care much about Transformers, so I don't have to worry about it. Kaus, do you how much Transformers do you know?
Is it as much as Star Trek?
The way Wheels explains it, right? It's like obviously below you guys, but like I know more than like.
It's not the gag of Star Trek. Well, it's not the gag with you in Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
The best way to explain it is Jerry can at least have a conversation with you about maybe Beast Wars. And when I mean maybe, sometimes he'll forget like major story plot points, and then he'll remember like the other half of the show. Like I'll be like, "Yo, this and that," and Jerry's like, "What are you talking about?" And I'm just like, "But wait, you can remember season 3, but you can't remember anything of season 2."
I also have a bunch of G1 and G2 toys laying around.
Like Jerry can barely like Jerry will remember season 1. Remember like probably half of Beast. And then he won't be able to tell you what's the difference between somehow Car Robots, Energon, Armada. He thinks they're all the same show.
Is this the Optimus I liked?
Yeah, no. For
I like the red and blue. Jerry's like, I like the red and blue one.
Like, because this is the best way to explain it. Jerry once said to me, I like the one with the fire truck. And I said, oh, that's Robots in Disguise Car Robots. And then I show him a picture of it. And I go, this is the one that aired on Fox Kids.
See you later, Mr.
I never watched it. And then I'll be like, but how can you like the fire truck one? That's the only one that aired with him combining with a guy. And he'll be like, no, that's not the one. And I'm like, okay, here's the question. Was it power armor that he had on, or did he wear pants? And so Jerry was like, oh, yeah, it's the one he had pants with. I'm like, that's Armada. And he goes, but what's the one where they all combine? And I go, that's Energon, but you already said the Energon. And then we go back. But then he goes back to me and says, but I like the one where he combines with Ultra Magnus. And I'm like, then you've seen Car Robots. He goes, I have not seen this RID one, except when we were watching it with Demon Wolf. And I go, you obviously did, since you know his name is Ultra Magnus. And then we have this.
He's talking about maybe he's talking about Micro Legends, because overall was called Ultra Magnus there.
Jerry secretly saw only the Japanese versions of the shows.
Probably.
Yeah, no, like literally, me and have where he at least has seen Car Robots a little bit to know Fire Engine and Ultra Magnus.
No,
but he for some reason will think that was still the Unicron trilogies.
No, maybe Callus is from like the Berenstain universe, and
I've made that joke before.
Because the other. What was the other thing, too, when it came to Transformers? There was something else Jerry asked me, and I was, like, looking at him, and I was legit, like, if he was in the same room, I was, like, looking at him, like, turning my head, like, looking at him, going, which one is this one now?
Just the confusion increases every day.
Yeah, no, it was that, because, like, because, like, Jerry remembers Energon for the one where they all combine.
Mm.
He remembers Armada as the one where he combined with the jet, and then he just remembers her engine go burr.
that's a people way to describe Transformers. Fire engine go burr.
Fire engine go burr, indeed.
Like it's a good thing he didn't see animated, or he would also know Optimus is technically a fire engine in animated. It's a good thing he didn't watch animated. That would have really set me up the wall.
Anyways, Chaos, where can people find you for more of your great Transformers takes?
Hey, I stream tomorrow on twitch.tv/SpiderChaos with Soundout. There's a lot of Evo Japan news.
Oh, yeah.
So, playing King of Fighters 15 and talking about all the fighting game news, including King of Fighters Zones. Yeah, perfect time to do it tomorrow.
Mm.
Check that out. There's a lot of stuff they announced. Evo Japan just finished.
MJ Klein said he must be mixed up. That happens. Chaos is from between 3 different universes, and he's just always trying to cross-compatible each of the stories from each, right?
Exactly.
Well, remember, the most infamous one. Oliver Platt and Rip Torn are gay. 100% hard gay men. And I'm just like, yeah, that never happened in this universe.
Jeremy Carr, Media Blasters did license Kamen Rider the First on DVD, but that license did expire by now.
But they got it back for the new releases.
Yeah, but they never had the next, and they never had any of the others, so it all part of the package deal. Wheels, where can they find you?
YouTube and Twitter at Wheelchair21. Check out our awesome website at hero-club.com for all of our news. Right now we're in a bit of a kerfuffle because we're updating the site, so we haven't been able to post because the site has had storage issues, saying that we're over the limit, even though we're not over the limit, but we are, but we aren't.
It's one of those glitches.
So if you want to help out, so if you want to help out Hero Club,
support our Patreon.
Please become a member of the Patreon. Exactly. Become a member of the Patreon so we can actually upgrade the storage, so we can actually further upgrade the site, so we can actually go back to writing articles that would actually be featured on this stream rather than Soundout having to source other people for a majority of the stream.
Yep. It'd make my life easier. I could just have a one-stop shop again.
Yeah. So, if you want to help us out, please become a Patreon member, because then I can just start giving the money to the guy who's fixing the site and be like, there you go, put the stuff together, fix everything, help us out, since we want to revamp this SOB finally. We can actually be like, hey, people, did you know we interviewed Go on Red?
I was talking about that.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. I was like, did we release that? That was my brain. My brain could not remember what we did.
Over on our Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's the pinned tweet on the Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Pretty damn sure.
Is it?
But I'm pretty sure if you go there, if it's not the pinned tweet, Patreon.
Jeremy Carr, if you want to put Wheels Uncensored Rant stream, become part of the Patreon for Hero Club, and he'll do it for you.
And check us out on Twitch. Just go to our Twitch on Wednesdays at 9 p.m.
Yep.
I gotta go clip the actual Power Rangers rant we had last week.
Put on the Discord.
Oh yeah, we have a Discord. Ryan, where can people find you in our Discord?
You can find me at Darko643 on YouTube and Twitter. I do arguments like the one you see is very channel. You want any? Feel free to DM me on Twitter or on Sound Disco Protocol.
Yeah. And you guys know where to find me. Enjoy the videos.
What are you doing? What's the videos for this week, Sound?
It's the rest of the collection tour, parts 2 and 3, because I own a lot of stuff. So part 2 will be Wednesday, part 3 will be Friday. There'll be a short tomorrow. There'll be a short on Thursday. Yeah. I have a lot going on this week, so it's going to be very easy videos that won't take too long to make. So that'll be fun. But you guys got anything else you want to say before we give it a little sayonara, goodbye? Any words?
Support the Patreon. Hero Club. Hero Club.
Don't tempt me with Baba Boo.
I thought you were gonna say support the official release. I'm like, what? Bridged.
Don't worry, we got the official release.
We are the
We're
official
subbing
release.
Albagas again.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
We need to find a new show.
I like how I didn't know I was supposed to be a part of that Soundout.
You need to find a new show.
Forgot about that.
You need to find a new show to joke about subbing that hasn't been subbed yet.
We need to, yeah.
Or
Jeremy Carr
find
says,
a
thank
new
you for
show
the
for us
stream
to
and
go
hard work,
sub,
everyone. Thank you, Jeremy.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Find us a show tomorrow for us to go sub.
Yep, we'll figure something out.
Because all we have to do is scrub. All we have to do is scrub it. Just find me the raws, and I will scrub the show.
Well, on that
doing
note,
Mischievous Kiss 1995 or whatever.
I'm not subbing Mischievous Kiss. I'm sorry.
I got the scripts. All I gotta do is scrub it.
I ain't subbing it. All right.
We're subbing it.
We will see you all next week for another great Sound Out Monday live stream. See y'all next time.